Alrighty, and now for this week's session of Rescue at Raxis. Last time, it was meant to be a joke, but the party decided to follow through with it. As they arrived to discover that their home, the foam-kissed lips, the X-Fest Hall, was now a pub once again. It was ankle-deep in various kinds of spilt fluids, mostly booze. Sold at a very reasonable price from what the patrons believed. Things were tallied up. People were ushered out. Control was slowly brought back, especially when it came to the second floor toilet. And the door right beside it led to the kitchen very quickly. It's around evening, getting past dinner. There's still things to deliberate with the party. Still things to talk out and work out, along with what the fuck are you guys going to do in this great big city of Raxis? You've been gone for near a week now. It's time to reassert your presence. So, let me ask. The fuck are you gonna do?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to meet with the owner so we can further iron out the details to make sure the bar can still run. We can afford the bar to run, and it does perpetuate money. Then I plan to go visit the dwarven captain, who I did leave a message to see if he would respond on finding, I believe, Shashish was the name, to see if there's any clues about her. I should go visit the blacksmiths I worked with to see if I can work further on the Wyvern skin, on the Hydra skin shield, and I believe that's it for me.
And as Castalia finishes, you all get to take a moment to think of yourselves as people without fucking agendas and no motivation in life.
Well,
or maybe you do have plans.
Well, at first moment, I'm thinking about if I can see if there's somewhere in the tavern there's the closed sign, so we can put that in front.
Yep.
There was no open sign, there is no closed sign.
Well, damn it.
But you know you've got one thing stronger than that to keep people away. People who've been walking out know that there's no booze left.
Well, I think the next step is trying to figure out how to, if we could somehow find a way inside the closed off city.
Agreed.
And I think we might want to get Sasul in on this.
I mean, you guys are probably all talking around the table right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sasul, do you think you can, you think you might be able to talk to some of the Cobalt Guild to see if they can find like a sewer entrance for us or something to get in there?
I can try. Can't hurt to ask at this point.
You may also want to see a tailor.
For what?
Did you already forget?
It was New Year, after all.
True. Zarzina.
Oh, he got cured.
Yeah, he got cured of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. That was before you guys got into town. Eventually.
Oh, that saves time then.
You still have the bracelet, though.
Yes, if Siegfried or Cornelius need a disguise that's rather effective, it's an option.
I mean, it works on anyone.
Mm-hmm. Be great for pranks.
Yes, it would.
Probably depend on the open-mindedness of the person that's being pranked. Speaking of,
Just remember, there is a possibility that won't work nearly as well as we hope.
speaking of
Quick
magical-
question: is this still the previous night, or is this morning?
Yeah, this is still... Because you guys arrived in town early, and then all the drinking was going down during daylight hours, It's probably about supper time, sort of dinner-ish.
Yeah, so you
It's only
still
just sort of getting into the dark night.
Is Siegfried still out?
Oh yeah, he's
unconscious?
still buzzed as fuck. Yeah. You're still feeling nothing, which is a happy state for Siegfried.
So I'm roughly underneath the Goliath in the kitchen.
Yeah, on Macron's arm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, if we want to involve Siegfried, we could just cut to the next day. Because you guys weren't really planning on
No, I
doing
was just
anything during
making
the...
sure that I knew where I was.
Yeah. You're with your very big teddy bear.
Teddy bear ain't helping too much.
I don't know. Because you're so drunk, I'm going to give you advantage on that there, and it's basically just blackness. There is no bad imagery, there's no good imagery, but it's just nothing but sleep.
Siegfried's actually going to get a good night's sleep. Wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, we can skip to the morning, where you guys can properly talk about what you're going to be doing in character.
That's probably better, just so that Siegfried can be involved.
As we go back to the city view. So yes, another lovely day. The place is nice and clean. Troop woke up early to start prestidigitation, whatever Zarzul hadn't dealt with, because man, he'd wrecked himself just doing that washroom. That was a punished privy.
And downstairs as well.
You have freshly bought supplies. Dinner's simple enough, and hell, it's a lot more promising. Even just a simple bowl of porridge is way better than a fucking hardtack. And hey, Siegfried, you're able to taste it again, although you may not want to. You may not want to put anything down your throat right now. Magard himself sort of shuffled off sometime during the night. He locked the door and chucked the key in through one of the slats of the boards, covering up one of the broken windows. Because you had many windows in the front, you have less now. But the wood has been put in. And luckily, for a change of pace, there is no one presently knocking at the door or demanding an audience. You're able to gather your wits, gather yourselves, and gather your belongings. Really take account of what you've got.
Speaking, I had some interesting information yesterday about the wedding dress we found. It was made in the city. However, due to client confidentiality, they could not divulge who it was that ordered it. So it was someone from the city.
It was at least ordered in the city. Doesn't mean it was necessarily a person from it, but yeah.
Man, small talk is awkward. I just imagine there's this very clear noise of like Malgern just clinking his spoon in his bowl repeatedly, as the silence just gets more and more thick in the air. As it's just hanging over all of you, it's just the clinks of spoons.
Oh no, he's too busy cooing over the little kitten.
Yeah, I'm putting some on my finger, giving it to the kitten.
Yeah, it's quite the kitten. It looks a lot bigger than you remember. It's now got a full coat of black fur.
Yay!
It also seems to be, from the length of its nose to its backside, it's about the length of your hand.
Exciting.
You might want to get something to carry that little buddy in.
Yeah.
He has a sling.
That's what I did want to try to get, like, maybe a cage and some bedding for it for the house.
I mean, you were thinking about that for Zarzul as well.
Yeah.
Also thinking of it, is this Malgern's first night in the house?
No, he was there one other night.
Yeah, I've been to the house one other time.
Okay, so he has to stake the room out. Okay. And yes, it still only has two little sort of fleshy nubs on its back.
Dog.
Eyes are open too. They are pitch black. And it seems to spend a lot of its time looking at you, Malgern.
Yay! That's good, right?
Yeah. If anything moves quickly, it looks at them as well, but then it returns back to you.
Yeah, it's a cat. It'll do that. As long as it's not staring off into the distance like there's ghosts in the house, because there might actually be ghosts in the house.
Oh, there are definitely ghosts in the house.
Yeah.
It was a wild fucking 4 days.
Okay, so we definitely need to look in getting into that closed off area inside the slum area.
Mm-hmm. And I think perhaps if we can find out I think maybe the sewers might be a way to get in there.
Agreed.
And that's kind of what I suggest, that maybe Sarsul can get some information about the entrance to said sewers and such, without it being too noticeable from the Cobalt Code.
He's had so much luck with kobolds previously.
Totally.
Yeah.
Your own fucking fault.
Yeah.
So, as Rain slowly dies,
Like you do.
Oh, were you going to say something, or?
I was just trying to think, is there anything else that we really got on the docket? Because Castalia said she was going to talk to the landlord.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if you
yeah.
want to go with Castalia and try, or if I should go with Castalia, or if you want to, if Castalia wants to do it alone.
Do we want to find out what the taxes and that sort of thing are like on businesses in the city before we go too far as well?
Have you already gone into your fucking rum bottle?
I have death wine.
Well, also, we're probably going to need to figure out anything about the merchant guilds as well. And what they want.
All right, well, I don't know if you and Castalia wants to deal with that. I could try and help Sarsul getting information about the sewers, or any other way to get inside the town.
I'm willing to help with the going into the town, trying to figure out the area in the town. I also want to see if I can spend some time with Pufflesworth to see if we can start actually making sure he behaves.
Malgern, what is your plan?
Find a little place to keep this kitty safe.
Said from the hard-bitten, near-suicidal dwarven warrior you all have known.
I mean, yeah. He's not a warrior, not yet.
It almost sounds like he's found a purpose in life.
As Wolfgang nods, for he too met something defenseless and weak out in the wild and has been raising it steadily. One day it will be a fighter.
Just gonna clear the
I've already got one multi-class, I don't need two.
She just played fighter with a bow, it's better. Alrighty. So, some of you have plans. Siegfried, how about you? Are you going to take part in any of this?
I'm going to go around to the local constabulary and find out what the licensing laws are around here.
Okay.
Probably get arrested and all the rest of it while I'm there, but we'll see what happens.
You never know. Alrighty, so who wants to do what first?
Well,
Oh, God.
suppose we can help out.
I shall head towards the kobolds.
And Cornelius wants to go with him, yeah?
Yeah, I figured I could help out.
And ditto.
You're also going?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, I think either me or Rain is Cornelius or Rain is gonna have to go with Castalia because we were kind of the one who bought in quotation mark this place. So either you go with Azul or you go with Castalia, and then I go with Castalia and well, vice versa.
I can go with Castalia.
He just doesn't want to be seen in public with her. Isn't it always a shame when they fight?
Well, not to mention, I mean, he's probably tired of everybody assuming they're a couple.
No, I'm just saying, makes a little more sense that the people who were first involved with the purchase of this also showed up. Since you're also the one who was keen on the whole business part of this side, it probably makes sense that you back up Castalia.
Sure, that works.
And that's the first order of business for you, Castalia? Go see Jeffries?
Yeah. If we actually want to keep this place being a bar, that should be the very first thing.
That
At least
leaves the
find
two...
out what the deal is anyway.
Yeah.
So
See-
we have information to make an informed decision.
Siegfried wants to go check with the law, while Malgern is sitting there with an unquarantined, untagged, uncollared, unleashed, no certificates, feral monster in his hand. Do you want to go with him?
Well, they let me wander around without too much problem. I don't see what the kid is.
Now, let's face it, there's an owl bear that seems to be going around.
That's on a harness, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still does more
So at a
damage.
casual look, they can believe it's tame. They don't know the truth.
But yeah, in any case, if anyone has any other plans, I suggest we finish breakfast and get going.
What a rousing cheer of consent here. You're raucous, you guys, first thing in the morning. As the party get up from the table silently, pushing together their bowls silently, carrying them to getting Droop to carry them to the kitchen. Not a word is said as they all just look away from each other and walk out one by one through the door at various intermittent times to make sure they're not associated together. And so begin their activities of the day. We'll start with Castalia and Rain, actually. There is that brief moment of having no idea where Jeffries would be at this point. It's not rent day, which would be the easiest way to locate him, but Rain at least is aware that he owns quite a lot of this area, because he was showing you around some of it, although you did take the first place offered that was vacant. Without going inside, without checking anything, it had no front door, you just bought it.
Yep.
Didn't even haggle.
Nope.
And so it's easy enough to just simply ask some of the other business dealers if they know where to find him. And it is at the bar across the square. He sits there, rotund halfling, getting deep into the side of pork. You can see that his face is just glistening around the lower half of it. And flanking beside him are two slabs of stone that are vaguely shaped humans. He definitely spent big money on muscle. These guys look like Megrin and Malgern if they were stacked on top of each other.
Is that the one?
Yep, that's him right there.
Let us. Well, I suppose I will advance forward and offer a proper greeting.
Oh, hey, Odell. Nice bit of cloth, eh?
Thank you.
Oh, and it's the pointy-eared as well. So, you lot were having a bit of fun with my property the last few days?
Yes, and that is exactly what we're here to discuss.
I'm glad to hear it. Did you bring my share of it?
We're still counting it out right now. We
Oh,
just
I
need
can
to
help
know
with that
the
if you
exact-
want. I find it's always good to be prompt with money. But I still haven't finished breakfast yet, so what have you?
We are looking for clarifications on the deal made with one Mr. Megrin.
Oh yeah, that was simple. I was looking to get rid of some old stock. Because, I mean, poor fucker died in the bar. Didn't have any family in town for the last few days, so had to get shifted to the... Simple enough. 60-40 deal. 60's in my favour, of course.
I figured.
Well, I was supplying all the booze. And then he said it would just be a prop-up thing until the booze runs out. That's good. That's fine with me. Even let him keep the furniture.
Alright then.
So, what adjustment were you looking to make?
Oh, not at all. I was just looking for the exact deal.
Well, like I said, 60-40 on the booze and the profits. He gets to keep the furniture. But the main thing is, it has to stop being a bar once he's run out. Which I heard he did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Also, of course, for any wages and stuff that needs to be seen, that's divvied out after I've taken my 60.
That I expected.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Don't go scowling like that. I'm just a businessman. Here, Cap, did I get your name last time? I don't remember. Anyway, you and address. You can sit on down if you want.
That one's to me.
Yeah.
Rain. I take a seat.
There we go. So yeah, simple deal, isn't it?
Indeed. Well, that is all I wish to clarify.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
Alright. Don't forget you got about 6 days till rent's due again.
Yep, don't worry. We've got that covered.
So, you ladies going to be off then?
Yes.
Yes, we've got counting to do.
Oh, that's true, that's true. Again, I could always help out a bit. I could come with you whenever I'm finished here if you fancy a drink, and get you a little ale.
Oh, I think we're quite good.
Alright, if you're sure then.
But thank you for the kind offer.
No worries, no worries. I'm always generous when it counts. Well, that was simple enough. Meanwhile, Cornelius Zarzul. You guys struck out earlier because, of course, it's a longer bit of trip and you had to take... you had to be plastered to the side of a street for a bit as, once again, there was a hurtling of various armoured figures on horseback and then a large levy of sellswords and various mercenaries followed behind them. And they were heading out for the west gate, or the east gate. Let's get that mixed up. So you knew we were going to clatter past your home at some point. Apart from that, though, it's just sort of business as normal, nothing unusual. No kobolds in the market yet, because they're still just setting up, really. And you pass through the next set of gates into the temple district and the slums. Oh, you were saying something?
Yep, we head towards Kobold House.
Yeah.
The party house.
Kobold House?
It really is. That was the idea of it. It was to be an incredibly out of control, constantly frat house of kobolds. But yeah, as you enter in the temple districts, nothing's really changed since you guys left at all. You're starting to get used to seeing this place as familiar. Still got the patrolling guards outside the boarded up slum area. And then there is the raucous noise of Kobold House. It might be a little bit in more disrepair than you last seen it, but it's hard to tell, really. You know, but the outside really doesn't matter for him. It's the inside where it's filled with rock, stone, dirt, soil. It's a proper little cavern in there.
On your head, Cornelius. The ceilings might be a little.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, as Zarzul pulls the door open, which is off one of the hinges, you do see there are, wherever should be an entry, there are 2 tunnels, one on top of another. A tough fit for Cornelius, not so much for Droop and Zarzul.
Hang on a second.
It's only a minute. It would have been
Alright, yeah.
it would have been a great time to use Reduce, I agree. Especially if he had some helium on him. But so it'll be a bit of undignified crawling, or you could always just call in. You can see like little Cornelius at least can see passages of dark figures just shooting side to side through the passages. And a lot of cackling and various, "Hello, friend! Fuck you!"
Yep. I'm going to find a semi-important looking kobold. Okay, maybe not a semi-important looking kobold. Kobold that actually looks like he knows what's happening around the place.
You grab the first one you see and work through a chain of about 7 of them as you go up into the various realms of responsibility until you get the one who is finally just dragged out of his small little stone depression of a cot by one of the others. He's the one who's got something to talk about. Come on, you. Up, 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 up. He is a sanitary consultant, whereas I am just a consultant towards sanitation, so he can handle this for you.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, friend. Ugh.
I was wondering whether you could help us with a small problem we have. We wish to get into the closed-off quarter.
He doesn't even open his eyes, but you do see his hand rising up and unfurling. Palm open and upwards.
I see.
I put a silver in there.
The fingers close for a moment, you see them moving across the coin. With his eyes still closed, and then his hand comes away. Alright, what's your beef?
I wish to get into the slum area that's blocked off.
I mean, you could ask. Did you try asking? You could jump a fence. A bunch of people did that. Didn't come back, though. But I suppose you want to go under, huh?
That was a thought we had. We were wondering whether it was possible.
Well, not most of the slum's not plumbed. Should be some bits coming in, at least. There's likely some open air grates, and a couple of tunnels that'll be flushing out to outside of the city. It could happen as he brings one hand up to scratch his snout, and the other one, it's trying to sort of support it with just a thumb as the palm stretches out again. It could be feasible.
There goes another silver, yep.
But it's not looking likely at this point. You just see the eyes shoot down to the silver coin and then back to normal.
I put another 5 to join it.
I mean, it's just entering the realm of possibility here. Okay, look. 4 gold.
Okay, 4 gold
There we go.
comes out.
That's more like it. He gives you back 1 silver coin. I'm not greedy. So, you want to be led into one of the tunnels, put yourselves out. Now, I will say, there have been weird noises from those tunnels. I will also say, there used to be more kobolds in this bedroom. You see that there's about 15 of them crammed in.
Okay, you're losing kobolds down there.
Oh, I mean, I didn't lose anything, but some of them didn't come back.
Kobolds are getting lost down there. Probably have poor sense of direction or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that. That's what Mr. Renenbach would say. It's just their own doing.
Okay.
Nothing at all is going wrong.
Okay, one of those issues. No worries.
But we've also been told not to work in those tunnels for a while. Structural issues, he's claimed.
Okay.
I don't know what that word
My
means, but it sounds long enough to be dangerous.
Yeah. Would these tunnels be big enough to accommodate some of these tall fellows here, like this fellow here?
As you look back, thinking you'll see Cornelius, but there's just Droop inside. Hi. Oh yeah, he fits perfectly. No, they're
how
big.
about
They're
the
big because
human?
they were made by the beardy ones, the stunties.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, it should be enough for anyone really to walk around in. I'm not sure about the grate. That might be a bit of an issue. Those were put in by the humans afterwards, and then, you know, we keep things clean. We reinforced them, made them better. Kobold ways.
Okay. Could you give us a map or at least some directions?
Oh, I'll have to lead you down myself, so you pick a day.
Okay. We'll come and find you later on, Mr. What was your name?
What was my name? You see his snout point up and sort of scrape against the roof of the cave as he thinks for a moment. Mornings are always so hard. Khaki. K-A-K-Y. Hello?
Okay, thank you for that. We shall come
It's a
and...
strange bit of silence there and someone just saying their name.
I was making notes, alright?
No, it's fine for you. It's just the rest of them were all quiet.
I was also waiting.
As you look him over, you know, he is a kobold of some age. He looks like he could be all of 10 years old.
So I just assume that I can only barely hear the conversation outside.
Oh no, that's the weird thing. Because of how it's a constant cavern, there's reverberations everywhere. There's so much snoring mingled with yells and yips and cheers and swears, and then there's this conversation just having a normal volume getting swirled among it.
Yeah.
Kobolds know how to filter this out.
Yeah, that's what I meant, that I can barely hear this conversation, so...
Okay, thank you for your assistance, good sir.
Alright, and who are
Call
you?
on you at a later date. I am Zazul Gil.
Okay. And if you're doing this during daylight, I'm gonna need another one of these as he holds up a gold coin. I don't do
Fair
the day
enough.
shift, they're gonna see me.
Yep, no worries. We may be going at night anyway.
Good. I mean, I prefer daytime. For a coin, then there's risk. Coin, possibly lose job, but then get job again because they don't really recognize me. No, sure, whatever. Just come when you come.
Will do. Now, head out to see Cornelia.
So, did you find out anything?
Yes, I've got a contact who will lead us in when we wish to go.
Okay then, good job.
Give me a perception check, Zarzul. With disadvantage since it's daylight. You see someone in a cloak and armor. Sort of human size, you're not really able to tell much else. But you see a flash of purple on their belt, and you recognize that was your dagger. And they're walking down through the gates towards the Craftsman district.
Cornelius. Maybe we should follow that fellow. He seems to have my old dagger. I would like it back.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a good idea here.
What's the worst that could happen? Roll initiative.
I don't think we want to start insinuating something to the local guardsmen.
Nalgurn's back
Did
at
it?
the house. Maybe he'll help.
I'm gonna ask a really strange question.
I'm sure.
This figure looks sort of like Siegfried, but without a beard.
No, I mean, you couldn't really tell anything. You're mostly seeing the back, but seems like a chunky sort with heavy armor. No, your life does not run on coincidences that convenient.
Okay. I have to head towards the craftsman area anyway to pick up. Did I pick up the armor for Wolfgang already?
No, you decide just to head on home after doing all the shopping and stuff.
Yeah, I may as well go follow along a little bit and see if I can get an idea of who this is.
So Cornelius, as you're walking perfectly normal, so is Droop, although he's got his hat pulled down. He's trying to look very unassuming right now. He tried to convince you to do so he could do alter self, but the only options he could have been were you, Siegfried, and Malgern, three bearded men of full height.
I mean, yeah, full height, Nalgurn, sure.
I mean, he could probably just.
Full dwarven height.
Yeah.
Actually, Cornelius is only like it's like only scruffy beard at this point.
Yeah, but it'd still be a little weird to walk around with your mini-me. Because he'd look identical to you.
Nalgurn remembers his mini-me. Slightly disturbing.
Siegfried does too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's managed to pull up a little cape around him. Although it does faintly glow, so it doesn't help him look inconspicuous. And meanwhile, there's Zarzul ahead of you, who is sort of stepping around a little cautiously, very aware, keeping his eyes on this figure ahead. Looking entirely suspicious. Also very beady-eyed because of the sunlight pouring down on him. But let's jump to Siegfried. Siegfried and Malgurn, you're still in the house. And Malgurn's just not paying attention because he's got his cat.
Well, Siegfried's going to head to the local police station or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever you like to call it.
You vaguely remember the
And
way.
Find out roughly what the liquor laws and opening and closing hours are supposed to.
He gives you a laydown. It's easy enough to get inside and get the question. It takes a few people yelling at each other in order to find the one who actually knows. He comes up and says, well, I mean, as long as you lock the door around, full nighttime, whenever the guards are striking out with the lanterns, you lock the door at that point, don't let them out for a bit, you can just keep on going. But if you're not going to lock the door, then you've got to punt them out before daylight comes.
Sure. Okay.
For licensing, taxation, 20% for a bar.
20% of. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, 20% of your final income.
Final income. Okay.
Yeah. So you can pay your wages and shit, and then it's just whatever you got left. That's what gets taxed.
Okay. So 20% profit. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then
So is licensing?
there is licensing. They're quite easy to obtain, actually. It only costs 50 gold a piece. But then you've also got to change your housing, so you got to talk to your landlord if you mention that you're renting the place. You need to talk about changing it to a business establishment. That'll have different fees and penalties engaged in it.
Okay.
Also, there is a. Let's trying to think of what the right term for this sort of thing is. No, it'll come up later at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, you need at least one licensed barkeep. You can buy one yourself, because they don't really care that much, but you're going to have issues if you don't have any experience.
Yep. Okay.
And if you broach the subject on how to get your supplies and all, he just points out it's a guard station. I know the laws, I don't know business.
That's fine. I understand.
Your landlord will probably know.
He probably will. You know, try and probably make a cut as well. So, yeah.
But yeah, it seems like it's sort of the general rules you've known. Like, if you're running a bar, you can't make it a fest hall unofficially. You have to be sort of more public about that there and actually get the right licenses. Like, there is a license to run a fest hall. There is a license to run it as a gambling den, that sort of thing. The license mainly being better strong doors and curtains over the windows.
And probably no holes in the wall. Okay.
Now you see, if you were smart, you would have opened up the hole in the roof as a sun lounge area for wine drinkers. You clamber up there, get on a nice seat, and look out across the sky and the wall.
Outside patio.
Yeah, but, you know, upstairs. You get a view. You're not down there with a rabble. Yeah, basically, you have to go 50 gold basically to specify this is a bar. If you want to do anything else, any kind of other things, it's going to take another license and another fee.
Not a problem. Thanks for that.
No worries. Have a good day.
You too.
You know, that looked familiar. Nah, we sorted that one all out. It's fine.
I'm not wanted for anything else yet? Cool.
No, sure we had that talk.
If anything does come up, I've been away for the last 2 days sorting out other issues.
Yeah, we know. We saw the place was closed for a few days and then it lit up again.
Yeah, that's what I was just finding out what I needed to make sure of before we got done for something.
No, I mean, that's... Jeffrey would have to come with us for a complaint first. He's the one that keeps it all in line. And then Berenice does this side of town.
Yep.
So, no one's spoken about you. It's fine, Mr. Random.
Thank you. You have a good good day and enjoy yourself.
I would, but I'm working.
Okay.
So, Castalian Rain. You've stepped out of a bar. You can see Siegfried in the distance coming back from the guard station. Not cuffed. Not pursued at all. What are you guys up to?
I'd want to be going to count the coins to get that settled.
Well, you guys did. You spent a large chunk of the evening yesterday.
Yes,
And-
but actually get it portioned out so we can settle our debt.
Yeah, you got 2,100 of gold's worth, but it's mainly silver pieces.
Yep.
How about you, Castalia? Anything different?
And no, I'm gonna go see Karagram, because I also reminded myself I have to see him about the hunk of sword we got.
Alrighty, so you head for the Noble Gate. The one through the Craftsman's District, because that's the one you dealt with before. There's a couple of guys standing on guard. They're very heavy plate, very decorated, these ones.
Alright.
Can't do your business here, love. You gotta move on.
I'm not doing business.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can't solicit while you're here.
I didn't plan to.
Alright.
I
What
came
are
to
you
see
here
Captain
for?
Karagram.
Caragrim, do you have an appointment?
Yes, I left a message about a week ago.
Hang on a tick. You see him stomp away off. There's a few squires hassled. He's standing there waiting for them to return, and he's not bothering to look back at you. The rest of the guards are, however, looking at you. There's the mixture of, there's very little there, but also flower. That's a lot of flowers in the horns. You can barely see the horns. Very floral. I haven't seen a floral devil before. There's a few hushed words, a few jeers, and then he comes back eventually. Your message was sent. It has not been responded to as yet.
Is Captain Caragrim not in town?
I'm not at liberty to say. I will, however, say that all those of high rank, such as Lord Caragrim, are quite busy. There is a war on.
Well, indeed. Thank you for your time.
Alright, hop it.
And so I leave to head to Joseph's.
He's quite pleased to see you again, although in a different way from how his cousins seem pleased to see you. That's amazing. I've got a fucking order for another 500 screws and nuts and bolts and shit. I need fucking help. These are worthless pieces of scum. And their families, that makes it even worse in a way. You're ready to get back to work, aren't you?
Absolutely. I finished the rest of my business for today, and I'd be more than happy to help.
Perfect. Get out of the titty shake gear and we'll get to work.
Right then, I'll report home, get in better gear, and be right back.
And he sets you right to work. He is very stressed right now. You can see that his beard is frazzled as hell. He is there's a clump of head hair still clinging to the fingers of his very heavy gloves. And he has been bashing at the hammer all day. He doesn't ask about where you've been. He doesn't say a word about all the flowers that are still there. He just wants you to make more and more nails.
Of course.
Hey, nails are good practice.
Nails are essential.
Indeed.
And of course there's work on buckles, there's making sure they're fitted correctly, there's a few pommels getting slotted in. It's just all go. And while you two are working furiously, you notice the cousins are barely moving at all. If you had to rely on them for the fire, it would have been snuffed hours ago. So that's Castalia done. And Rain is counting her hoard.
Not my horde.
Pavlsworth thinks it's his. He's trying to jump into it.
I wager he is.
So let's hop back to the kobold and the wizard.
Well, as we're heading back, I think I'm gonna stop by the all the merchant stalls to see if I can find like a chicken cage or something to bring back to Malgern.
You root around. You don't see anything specifically for, You think for a moment, would it be agriculture? Would it be the sort of tending animal creatures that these jobs have? Then you look to Zarzul and think, no, trappers. That's who would have it. Those sort of people. The ones who go out into the wild world and come back with animals for God knows what reason and purpose. And yeah, for about 2 gold, it looks sturdy enough. It would fit Zarzul. But the bars are quite close together.
Yeah, that's kind of what the most important part is, so it can't actually fall out.
Sturdy enough.
Considering most cats are essentially liquid.
Yep.
Yeah, I got one around by. He's liquid right now.
It's got a fairly sturdy lock on it as well. It looks like a proper... Once this thing's shut, it takes, a proper working man to get it open again.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Alright, 2 gold in.
There you go.
Nicely done. Alright, enjoy your day, mate.
You as well. Thank you for the bit.
Zarzul, you still have track of that guy. He's not been walking in any kind of mysterious way at all. He's just been sort of mingling around. Chatting up a few of the local women, hanging with a few of his fellow armoured mates.
So it looks like known to the area.
Not quite. Just looks like he's not trying to hide who he is or anything.
Okay. I'll leave him be then.
At this point, you've gotten a
Get off
look
and
as
grab
well,
some-
and you can see that it looks to be human, although quite dusky skinned. Not, noble pale like Cornelius.
Okay. I'll just head off and grab some wolf armor.
Yep. Yeah, they wheel out the halfling crafter.
Yep.
It's a very good job, this. I like it. That should be nice and done. Now, the rest of my fee.
I hand over the rest.
Do you remember what the rest was?
No.
You were meant to keep track of that.
I'm trying to find my notes at the moment.
It was just studded leather, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you increased the cost.
Well, I didn't. It wasn't me that increased it. It's how the rules are done. But Wolfgang now has a nice set of studded leather armor, which can apply to his AC. Any more business? Feel free. I am always quite available for interesting works.
Thank you, good sir. We'll keep you in mind.
Good day to you. I'm sweating like a fucking pig out here. Get me back inside. Man, just think, it was probably October when he went there. Malgern. What are you doing after you ignored Rain entering back and Castalia heading in her dancer outfit and coming back out in trousers and tunic? What have you been occupying yourself with?
I ate breakfast.
Yep.
I noticed the kitty got bigger,
Oh yeah, quite big.
and I tried to take care of the kitty best I could.
Like, you're thinking back to how it was 2 days ago when it was a tiny
Yeah.
nub of pink in the palm of
I
your
was
hand.
not expecting this fast growth, but it's gonna need a place to stay while we're at home. So I guess I'm going into town searching for maybe some bedding.
Oh, you're actually gonna...
I guess.
Okay, you're gonna leave the house?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the house.
Alright. About midway after you're past the gates, you come into contact with Cornelius and Zarzul.
Ah, so you're out and about.
Yeah, I needed some things.
I got you something here as I show you the cage.
There's a muffled hiss from your pocket.
It's actually, I've got a little sling for it, so it's kind of slung across my chest. So there's a muffled hiss from it.
Oh, then you also
Oh,
start to feel the
that's-
paws, Vin. All
That's
6 of them.
That's just what I was looking for. How did you know?
I figured you wanted to keep it somewhere.
Yeah, and it got big fast. You wouldn't happen to know anything about these, would you?
I am not too familiar about fake creatures. Didn't exactly encounter a whole lot during my studies, though.
There's a fairly concerted wiggle in the sling.
I checked the sling, see if it's doing okay.
It's just pawing against you. It just wants to do a bit of exercise and get it running about. You can see the tails curling as well and all 6 legs sort of going.
I'll
Actually,
accept for the cage and
But can you even know it's a fake creature?
Yeah, it's talked about enough times to know that those are creatures of the Fae. They're not the regular kind of monster. At least that's how it's sort of seen. Then there's
That's
also
how-
tales about how elves would raise them and stuff. It just doesn't... There's not a lot of sort of straight line stuff on it. But it's generally
so if
considered...
elves can raise it, I'll do fine.
But it's generally accepted that they're fey creatures because they have issues with blink dogs, and blink dogs are a well-known fey creature. So people just sort of associate Seelie Court and Unseelie. That's about the sort of general knowledge. From an educated man, anyway.
Mhm.
Malgern, it weird kitty.
Yeah.
How was your knowledge?
Well, no, but I mean, fake creatures aren't bad, so I know it's not bad. And
Your
if
cod
there's
piece
sort of-
remembers that redcaps are fey creatures too.
But here's the thing: if Elf can raise one, so can I. All I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
If Elf can do it, I can do it better.
We'll see. Give me a dex. Give me an dex roll.
Dex roll.
It is an agile cat.
And again, because of disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage.
Because it's this point where
Fuck.
you notice you've got 2 in the sling, sort of. One's kind of out of it.
Oh. Oh dear.
And it scrabbles its way out and it falls on the feet, landing on its feet, of course, on your boot.
Oh.
And its head is going all directions as it's just looking around, taking in everything.
I'm gonna try to scoop the one that escaped back up. Is that gonna be another?
It's going to be another dex roll at disadvantage.
I can't use.
I quickly I cast guidance. I think it is on Melgurn.
Yeah, you can put your hand on him and do guidance.
I'm good. Hear me out here. Let's see. Would this be any? What's animal handling you use?
That's more for convincing and not literal.
Not literal. Okay.
Alright, you're able to... You decide, okay, it could be either one of them, so I'm going to grab both, each with one hand. And you manage to safely grab hold of it, and you find it's in your left hand.
Hey.
It kind of elongates as you lift it up. And it looks at you for a moment as if, why? Come on. There's things to see.
Okay.
But it's not resisting.
I try to. I put it back in this thing. I adjust it. I kind of like prop its head up, try to get it to sit. Like, you can see things. We're gonna walk around. You know.
It's also weird because you're holding it there, and you're seeing a floating version of it in the same position with expression.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna get used to that.
And as you put in the sling, there's one projecting itself, so it's kind of obvious that you've got a 6-legged cat against your chest right now.
Oh no. They're not inherently evil. I don't think anyone will have a problem with this. I didn't think this far ahead.
You're getting a few stares right now.
And if I notice that, I just give them a dirty look right back. Like, mind your own business.
They go about their own business. They're not going to.
Yeah.
They're not going to stare down a heavily armored dwarf.
Yeah, you're right. They're not.
Well,
It wasn't
then.
obvious. After all this is going on, I kind of take the cage from Cornelius. I'm not going to make him.
Yeah, Cornelius, you're seeing the start and end of this story. You've seen Pufflesworth as well. You know where this is going.
I just gotta bring this back to the house.
No, I can carry it. I appreciate it.
I mean, you gonna be walking around with a cage outside in town?
Well, no, I'm going to take it back to the house. It's kind of what I came for, so I'm not going to make you carry it.
Alright. I hand over the cage.
Thank you. And then I'm going to start heading back home.
Yep. You all
Yeah,
notice as the
but-
cat just shifts his position because you can see a projected version of it doing the same thing.
Ugh. So that was easier than I thought. I didn't expect Cornelius to think ahead, but I am grateful. Well, no, I mean, it's my problem, not his. So
True.
I don't expect that, but I am grateful.
The town guard give you quite a look. Sir, do you have a ghost of a cat attached to you right now?
How am I gonna- You know what? I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna play it off. What goes to a cat where? I don't see it.
Right there. You see it too, Colin. Yeah, I see this. What's the deal, sir?
I pull out the cat and kind of make it face me. I don't see anything. Do you?
You hold it up, and there is another cat beside it, floating.
Yeah.
And it stretches its six legs.
No, we don't see anything.
That's not a normal cat now, is it?
I mean, does it look like a normal cat to you?
No. No, it does not look like a normal cat.
Is there a problem?
Is that a dangerous animal, sir?
Does it look dangerous?
It is small. I know, but it's fucking. So's a rat, and it can fucking eat your eye. That cage is for the animal, sir?
Yes.
Right, I
I
don't.
was heading home.
Okay. We'll just say we didn't see nothing, but you know, on a leash, in a cage, just not loose. I think that goes for both of them. I'm not sure.
I put it back in the sling and I just continue home.
The fuck was that? I don't know. They always bring weird shit here. You know, some fucker brought like a skull from this thing they called a dinosaur. It's just sitting there. They rented a room for it. Who the fuck rents a room for a skull? Fucking mercenaries are weird. Oh, also, no, we did the gender roll, didn't we?
No.
No,
we didn't.
okay. Roll a d2.
Roll a d2.
It's female.
Out
Okay.
gender.
Now, would I know that, or is that just for future? Like, I still don't.
I mean, you just know there's nothing below it. You figure
Oh, okay.
it's probably a girl bin.
Okay. I mean, do we tell them
Oh, yeah.
how hard it is to tell what cats are, actually? But, okay, so it's a girl. So that's gonna be her name.
And as you get home, there's another wriggle as the projected cat manages to slip free, as does the real one, and they just get out of the sling and start to pad about the home. Rain in the basement. Pufflesworth. His head snaps round to the stairs.
Uh-oh. I pick up Pufflesworth.
Do you?
Yes.
You just managed to scrabble him up into your arms. He heard something moving about there, but it was small, weedy, delicious.
I call up. Who's up there?
Just me.
Is the cat contained?
It will be.
Because Pufflesworth is interested, and I don't think that's a good thing.
In talking to Rain, you look around, you lost track of the cat until you see him going on the stairs going up to the second floor.
I follow the cat.
It starts to run because now it's being chased. Because that's how cats work. You can't just run up to a cat.
Oh, I know. But Malgern doesn't know that.
Yep.
Calm down, don't chase the creature.
Well, then how am I supposed to catch it?
Lure him over. Take it nice and easy. Walk, don't run after it.
I go find something to coax it back to me.
Droop hands you a faintly glowing fish.
Ooh, this will work.
It's not
Okay.
real, but, you know, it won't know, I think.
I mean, I could also use my hat. Comes to it.
Yeah, you could easily use your hat.
Yeah. But I take the fish and I kind of squat down as dwarves do. You know, I'm really short, and I try to coax it back out with the fish.
Give me an animal handling.
it begins.
Mm-hmm. As you're trying to think of the sort of noises you could do. 18's okay.
Cats go meow, right?
This one, it's more sort of a rising growl, but it's very small and feeble. But it does pad over, eyeing the fish entirely. And it's quite weird to see as it slinks along on 6 limbs. Like, it's still very small and compact, which makes it even weirder that there's all these limbs underneath it. There's not a whole lot of
How many
space.
cats come slinking over?
Just the one.
Okay, just the one. I was like, how many? It's
Oh,
like-
well, I mean, the 2 of them, but you know what I mean. You know there's only one.
Yeah. but
The
then-
other is the illusion.
Can they only do 2? Is that how?
Yeah, they can only do one other shape at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be like 3 cats coming at.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You could raise it to be a caster and it learns mirror image.
Oh God. No, we already have enough of those in the party. Looks at Drew.
Yeah, it pads on over and it starts to sniff and paw at the fish. It's kind of surprised by it. It recognizes this is a food thing, but it doesn't quite have the claws for it. Like, you can see there's little pinpricks, but that's about all it's got.
I kind of use, since it's interested in the fish, I try to guide it over to the cage.
Yeah, it follows along with that good animal roll.
And did you say I need to roll again?
No, you did.
Okay. And I'm gonna lead it over to the cage with the fish in the cage.
Yeah, it follows the fish. It pounces. It starts to claw and tear and rip. Nothing coming out of it because it's just a fake fish object that Drip made.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a temporary toy.
Yep. I'm gonna put it in the cage with the fish.
Do you close the door of the cage?
I do.
It immediately turns around and launches itself at the door.
I use my hat to conjure a rat.
The dangling rat it has caught all its interest.
Yep. And I assume since it's a cage, I can kind of hang the cat in the cage from the top with my hand, or hang the rat.
What?
So I try to get it to play with the rat and not the door.
It's just little pinpricks, but man, the underside of that rat is shredded.
Oh, God.
It's such a young kitten, but it is a cat in all ways.
Mm-hmm.
Murder is their natural state.
Yes, it is.
That one's not going to get the puff out of existence in a minute like the rest of them.
Yep.
Well, that was extremely horrifying.
Yeah, there's a lot of hissing, there's a lot of growling, there's bits of blood everywhere and splattered in the cage. I think I'm more
Does
of
the
a dog
blood poof
person.
Away when the rat poofs away. That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't need to clean it then.
No. Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
I think they last an hour.
Yeah, but after an hour, does it clean itself up?
I don't know, we'll get to that when an hour's passed.
I know, yeah.
For now, you've just got this gore-stained cage and a scraped-apart rat.
Alright. But does the cat look happy?
Oh yeah, it's having a hell of a time swatting this thing around, biting down on it,
Okay,
tearing
good,
pieces.
Good, excellent. That's all that matters.
You notice it went from the throat very quickly.
Good.
There was a lot of screaming and squeaking from the rat,
I approve.
which lasted a lot longer than you think it should have from the injuries it was getting. This seemed calculated.
I'm learning about my hat as well. There's some things that are happening right now.
No, you're figuring that was just normal rat, but you think maybe your cat may have some instinctive knowledge of how to prolong.
Oh yeah, because it would kind of know.
Yeah. That rat didn't die easy.
It was a fake cat.
And for all intents and purposes, your cat is 3 days old. Well, in the twinkly den with Rain and Pufflesworth. Pufflesworth was also very enticed by the sound of a squealing, dying rat.
By counting.
But you've still got a hold of him, and he's not going to wriggle too hard right now, because stairs are annoying to get up. He does keep trying to bite and gnaw at some of the coins, just for the hell of it, because he's bored. He's stuck down here, he wants
You're
to
down
play.
here with me, right, Rain?
No, I'm up top.
Top.
How about just down in the basement?
Yeah.
Because if I could see them, I would conjure another rat.
Because, yeah,
Ray,
Puffles...
what are you doing?
I'm getting Jeffrey's money settled so that we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, all right. Why didn't you figure it out?
It's a 60-40 with him getting the 60.
Yes, and
He mentioned that the deal was that it was going to be not continuing after the stock was done. We didn't get any farther than that.
You didn't ask anything, you said you were done.
Yeah.
well, okay then.
I figured they were going to say we're proposing a new deal, but they didn't.
No.
Nope.
Not with him. No, with
Yeah,
those crap. Hell no.
Not 60-40.
Hell no. No.
So, I guess we don't have to find another place for us to rest.
Siegfried is also able to chip in if he wants to on what he learned about the business.
Oh, I'm there, am I? Okay.
Yeah. Unless you want to go somewhere else after the guard station.
No, that's fine.
So you're able
I'll
to
pop in that, quite frankly, the tax rate round here is 20% of profit. And if we do look at it, we're looking at a $50 gold licensing fee, and also we'll need to actually hire somebody that's qualified as a barman with the right certificates or licensing.
Well, none of that's too horrible, but
The other thing is to get the licensing on the premises, the owner must approve,
oh yeah, we knew that.
and which will probably change the rental agreement.
Oh, probably.
Well, Sasu and I have found out that I found a way to get inside the closed off town part of town at any point we want. So we have a contact there with the kobolds.
We could also possibly just ask to get in and see what happens.
I don't think that's going to work.
We can try it anyway.
Yeah, we try to see if the clergy may be willing to let us in. And if they don't, well, at least we have this in the backhand. Back pocket, I suppose the term is actually.
Meanwhile, Castalia banging on the hammer. Give me a tool roll. Let's see how good your shift was.
Alright. Let's see.
I'll run back up to the room.
What mod do I use for that?
We'll say strength. This is
Alright.
menial work. This isn't finessing anything.
Right.
Did I remember to put all tokens in the right place?
23.
Yeah, it was a good day's work. Oh man, I set this map up so long ago it didn't have Malgern in it. Let's see. Actually, he's not on that one either. Yeah, it's a hard day, but it's a satisfying one. A lot of tedious tasks, but it's good to be just bellows, forge, hammer, tongs. And there's a very light bit of banter with Joseph. He doesn't ask anything about you. Just about the job itself. It's up to you to put forth anything else. I'm guessing you don't. I'm saying, throughout the workday, yeah, when it comes to conversation, he only talks about the job. And he doesn't ask about what you were doing or anything like that or anything personal.
I would probably ask if he had done any research on Hydraskin, to see if we can make further progress on the booklet.
Nah, I've been stuck in the forge all day. I mean, what I know is that the meat of him is what heals, not the scales. Not like a dragon. They look pretty enough, look thick enough. It's just, you know. Never heard anything special about the scales. The blood, tons about the blood.
Yeah.
Apparently the liver's meant to grow back real quick as well. I've heard of it. There was like a dwarf artificer. He wanted to try to transplant a hydra liver into him so he could never run the risk of multiple sclerosis.
Oh.
Apparently it didn't quite work because the rest of the hydra organs started to grow in at the same time while his were still in place. Well, I think that's what happened anyway. Maybe he never went through with it.
Well, it is something to consider if I should ever run into another.
Oh, you did that one personally?
Indeed.
What was it like?
Uh,
I've only seen a picture or two. I've never seen a live creature.
very large, many snapping heads.
I've heard there is a...
Companion was enlarged to a great size. It was amazing to see his shield blocking all those bites.
Hmm. I've heard they've got a stuffed one up in one of the noble houses. Never seen it myself. I've not gotten the calls as yet. But, you know, one day this shop will be... my shop. That's about it. So I can get some real fucking... I mean, okay, I've got you. Not saying that. Not saying a bad thing about you. But I'm still going to say the general thing of I wish I had some fucking proper workers. But instead I've got those two fuck-ups. But no, you're great. I'm enjoying this. It's great to have someone who can actually fucking work a forge. It's just a shame you don't have a beard.
Can only do so much.
That could be arranged now.
There's two possible ways to get it done.
I can think of a couple of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of items would do the trick.
Or just go to the fuckle clumps. That's good then. Face to Hydra. Yeah, we should get to work on that shield and actually finish it off then. Kept it all just as it was, managed to keep their fucking hands off it. If you don't mind staying a bit more in the night, we might be able to polish this off.
Surely.
Alright then. Looking at those two and I'm thinking not. How about you and I get a dinner first, then we'll get back to the shop. Otherwise we're going to be starving the whole night through.
Alright.
Yep. Bonza. Let's go. And then we jump back to the rest of the group. In the house. Pondering on their situation, their means and methods. What are you lot up to?
I think Cornelius has gone up and trying to figure out if there's any spells from the Necromancer spell book he wants to copy over.
Well, we did list them out.
Yeah.
It's on you if you want to spend more time with that there. You could also spend time with Droop.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I think I'll be trying and help him out with some of his algorithms, magical algorithms.
Is there any particular spell you want to have a look at?
I think I ask him which one does he feel he needs the most help with.
All of them. Let's see here. Really worried about this one. It's the Badgers.
Ah, yes. Well, let's take a look at it then.
That's going to be a hefty Arcana roll. As you try to first decipher what's going on there, and trying to see if there's an issue with it.
Okay, see the roll. 17.
It mostly makes sense. You're deciphering it, you're able to talk through it with him, which helps a lot. As you're going through it, you're seeing it. There seems to be just sort of little errant things now and again, like you can see that the correct thing is there, but that's been scrolled out, and then there's a version that looks very similar, but there's one or two typos in it. He forgot to carry the one on this part. And his diagrams are actually kind of right, but he's drawn them a little bit skewed. And you're just having to try and get him through on this here. But altogether, like, the spell works. And that leaves you a bit confused on why it makes badgers instead of daggers. Because you're not really able to see a glaring error. You're seeing things that might make it fizzle or might make it underperform, but you're not seeing something that says badger. But it's still a fun time to actually pour over someone else's notes. You haven't really done this before. I'm saying for Cornelius, most of his experience has been seeing, you know, his tutor's notes that have been perfected for him to copy off or to learn from.
Yeah.
It's rare. He hasn't really gotten the chance to see someone's in-progress work. And be the teacher.
Alright, well, let's try and change some of this, and let's try and see what happens if we cast it up on the first floor. Or second floor, I should say. Wait. Okay. The top floor. Because I know there are Americans here, and with their European people here, we all have different ways of what is first floor and second floor.
Yeah, but I'm the DM, so fuck them. It's ground floor, first, second floor.
Wouldn't the ground floor then be the first floor anyway?
It is.
It's ground floor and then first floor.
No,
Oh,
fuck it.
that's
Ground floor,
fine.
second floor, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You just keep doing it. Okay, not the ground floor. Try and cast.
So the basement then.
Let's try and change this variable here.
Second
and then
floor
you try and
basement,
cast
gotcha.
it, and you try and cast it and see what happens.
Okay, hang on.
There'll probably be some change to it, but then at least we can see where. At least then we might be able to narrow down.
Okay.
That's okay.
I guess I need a target. I can make one. It just conjures a faintly glowing little straw doll with fat bottom so it stands upright. He backs away from it slowly. You hear him whisper sorry to it.
Oh.
And he casts Cloud of Badgers once again, and you see it is in fact badgers, but they're larger looking badgers now.
Oh no.
They have way more teeth. They see a few of them seem rabid. There's foam getting flecked across the place as they start to twirl. There's a whole shitload of hissing. Pufflesworth recoils a bit in the rain. Your displacer beast Malgurn just hisses louder in response. It doesn't back down. And then... splort. Ah!
All right then. Well, we can see there was a change in it.
He is just completely fucking covered. This was a compacted area now. All of the hard work that he and Zarzul had done to clean this place up, and is now just covered in gore. There's just thick drippings of badger goo coming down from the second floor landing onto the ground floor. Melgern, you're fine. There's a bit on your shoulder. That's about it, just dripping there. But
I'll get over it.
the second floor is just covered in dead badger.
It's fine.
Question. Did this stuff disappear last time, or are we stuck with...
It did not disappear last time.
Oh dear.
Okay, do we have large enough chunks to feed the pets?
Potentially, yes. You've got to go picking through them.
Well, I'm just gonna start summoning an unseen servant. And to start cleaning some of the worst up.
Even it looks displeased. It's got no face and presence, but it looks displeased.
Alright then, well, we saw there was a change when we changed that variable. But it seemed to mostly affect the badger's nature, the behavior. So we need to find somewhere else so we can change from what is going to be the badger to what it is you actually want them to be.
It's meant to conjure knives!
Alright then. On to the next formula and see if that's going to change the form of them.
It's a good thing Rain wasn't upstairs to see this hole. She did hear it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna stay down here and pretend none of this. Assuming I'm done counting, then I would be working to try to train Pufflesworth to pretend that none of that's happening.
What are you attempting to do with Pufflesworth?
I'm trying to get him to understand why there are certain things he shouldn't do.
Very specific for a dum-dum to learn.
It's like, you have to listen to me. If I say stay, stay, and if I say attack, then you can go ham.
Are you going to use your ring?
Yes.
Okay then. Why?
Because, do you notice how I'm bigger than you?
I'm stronger.
No, you're not. Are you? Do you notice how I'm bigger than you?
I'm stronger.
I firmly grasp the leash and pull up and say, do you notice how I'm bigger than you?
Now give me your lunch money.
I'm not pulling him off the ground, just up a little bit so that he kind of gets the picture. Oh, fuck. Holy shit!
It's a tug of war. But it's also still undermining your point that you might be bigger, but you're not able to budge him, and he's holding you in place as well.
Oh, fuck. Why are we both crit?
It's equal now.
Pufflesworth's only going to get bigger. Eventually he's going to be bigger than Rain.
Oh, yeah. Have you noticed how we've gone up against things that are bigger than both of us?
And I've killed them, because I'm the best.
I kind of wave my hand around above his head. Have you noticed if you're looking down there, you're not able to see up here?
I killed more than you.
I didn't ask that.
You were all tied up, and I beat them.
I'm asking, do you notice how if you're looking down at my ankles down there, you can't
I
see
killed
up
really
here?
big ones too. Way bigger than you.
No,
Because I'm stronger.
You did not. If you notice... Holy fuck, he's fucking dumb.
His intelligence is -5. He is a wild animal.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's also a child and a brat.
Yeah, he is a very big brat. You're looking down there. I can see more than you.
As he just rotates his head. I can see everything.
No, you can't. And there's nothing that's going to be able to stop something from stepping on top of you.
I will.
How do you propose to stop something from making you go splat?
Because I'm strong.
I pushed down on top of his head.
Yes, that went so well the last time.
That's probably going to go well this time. He doesn't like it. He starts to growl. He starts to get very angry as he just keeps saying, "Stop it, stop it, stop it."
Have I proved my point?
Stop it.
I do not stop it. I just stare at him.
I don't like this. Stop it.
How do you think you would feel if something wanted to make you go kersplat?
I don't like this. I don't like it.
If you don't like it, then that means you're gonna want.
I'm stronger. This isn't meant to happen. I don't like it. I don't like it.
If you're stronger, why aren't you stopping me?
I don't like it.
No.
I know you don't like it. That's why you need to listen to me. Otherwise, other things are going to do that, and it's going to be much harder.
He's going to try to shake you off.
Oh, I know he is. Oh fuck, he might actually do it.
He might.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend that I meant to do that.
As he pushes your hand away and he just sort of starts to scrabble back against the corner. He stares at you for a bit. Didn't like that.
I know you didn't.
Don't do that. I didn't like that.
Do you think other things are going to care if you like that? There are things that want to eat you for lunch, like you do with those rats and bunnies.
They won't.
Really? Because I just did that.
He looks away, sort of scuffing at the ground. Didn't like that.
I know you didn't. That's why you gotta listen to me.
Things do that to you too.
True. But that's what I've got spells for. I can stop that.
He sulks in the corner.
I figured you wouldn't like that very much.
You see him start to peck and then try to chip one of the stones of his beak.
I kind of think for a second. Let me go see if Malgern is willing to give you a rat.
As you walk past him, you hear him mumble that he didn't like it.
I go on up to Malgern. I leave him down in the basement because I know he isn't going anywhere down there. So I go on up to Malgern. Hey Malgern, can I borrow a rat or something from your hat?
And as you come upstairs, it's an abattoir. There is the Displacer Beast kitty cage covered in gore from the shredded rat. Then there is upstairs, and oh god, it's on the ceiling. It's dripping from the floor. Droop is still sobbing a bit. And Siegfried's walking around picking up pieces of badger.
What the fuck happened here?
Oh, hello. Just trying to help Droop with his spells.
Oh, that makes sense. Never mind. Then I go straight to Melgren and I go, hey, can I borrow a rat from your hat, please?
Sure. And I produce a rat.
Thank you very much.
As you produce the new rat, the cage is now clean. Your Displacer Beast kitten is very annoyed because his kill is gone. He looks around as if it ran away from him.
I go to take it and head back downstairs.
I produce another rat for the cat.
The rat in Rain's hand vanishes.
Oh,
Uh,
crap.
I turn back. What?
Oh no. Well,
You know, there's plenty of meat chunks around here.
yeah. I give Rain the rat, and then I go find some meat for the cat.
As you
That's
shuffle
what I
in
take
some,
it.
as you shuffle in some displaced badger meat, it doesn't seem as interested because it's not a living creature it can torment. But it does gnaw and pull, and you notice, yeah, it can eat solids pretty well. Back to you, Rain.
I go back to head downstairs with the rat. And look for Pufflesworth to make sure he's still where I left him.
Yeah, he's making a few sparks of his beak on the stones. As he spots the rat, he just paws. He paws over, looking up at it. Mine.
If
Mine.
sit.
He doesn't.
I just shrug. Then you're not getting the rat.
But I want the rat.
Then you have to do what I say you have.
I want it.
I just shrug.
There's some
Too bad.
there's some loud chirping coming from the basement to the rest of you guys. As he starts to shout again, I want it.
Then you better sit.
He walks over, starts to paw at your leg. I want it.
I just shrug again. I'm taller than you. I can keep this away from you all I want.
He's gonna try and make it so you're not taller, but fails. As he just pushes properly against your leg, but it slips. I want it.
Then you sit.
The rat is panicking, by the way. Does not like this. It doesn't like this at all.
I figured it wouldn't. Sit.
Can I get the rat?
If you sit, yes.
One leg bends, and just one arse cheek touches the ground.
All the way.
Slowly shifts so the butt's on the ground.
There you go. Was that so hard?
He's immediately up again. Now he's up on two legs, pawing at you. He wants the rat.
You have to remain.
I sat.
Until
I did it.
you
I
have
want
to
it.
remain sat until I give you the rat.
I did it. I want the rat now. I want it.
Sit and you'll get it.
I did.
You have to remain sat until I give you it.
I imagine this is what we hear.
You hear all of Rain's stuff. That comes in English. Slowly sits down, but he looks at you and just thinks you're mean.
I can tell he thinks that.
Oh, he says it. He says it too.
Because you need to learn to behave so nothing bad happens to you.
Nothing
This
bad
is
has
why I lean
happened.
down. It can, and you've been hurt before, if you recall.
Not bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
No.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't think you've been hurt very bad, just remember, I don't have to fix you then, because you weren't hurt very bad.
But you said you'd look after me.
I will. I lean down and I give him the rat, because he's finally sat.
It is gone in 2 gulps. And you know what's coming next.
More?
More. I want another.
No. You have to wait till supper.
He looks up at the stairs, then at you, and he starts trying to walk towards the stairs to go find one himself.
I grab the leash. Where do you think you're going?
Out.
No, you're staying here with me.
Won't let me do anything.
He's like a sulky teenager. But dumber.
That's not possible.
Yeah, it is.
I was a salty teenager. I think I know what I'm talking about.
Oh. I let you do plenty of stuff. I took you with me for all those fights now, didn't I?
You kept pulling me away.
Correct, because I didn't want you to go kersplat.
But I beat things.
At this point, I go to push his head back down again. Ooh, he might actually win this. Yep, he won this.
Don't like that. He not only pushes your hand, but also bites it.
Ow.
You take...
I firmly...
Hang on, let's see.
Holy fuck.
You take 2 points of damage. As he bites deliberately on your hand. I don't like that. Don't like that. Don't do that.
I firmly say, no, you do not bite me.
I told you I didn't like that and you did it. I don't like that. The feathers are puffing up now.
At this point, then I do...
Guiding bolts! Command.
I don't know how wise he is.
He's that wise. As he sits, he just looks around. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't do that.
You need to behave. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I won't have to do that if you behave.
Don't do that. Don't like that. Don't do that.
I know you don't like it. I don't want to have to do it, but you're also not listening to me.
Why did you do that?
Because you bit me and that wasn't nice.
No, you pushed me down. I don't want that. I don't like that.
I know. Do you want bigger
You kept
things
doing
to do
it.
that to you? Do you want bigger things to do that to you?
No, and I'll bite them too.
Yeah, if you noticed, it didn't do very much to me now, did it?
Mm. I want you to stop. I didn't want to kill you. Could have.
I know. No, you couldn't have. There are bigger things. If you didn't do very much to me, what makes you think that's going to do a lot to a bigger thing?
I would have tried on them. I just want you to stop.
I point over at a rock. Bite that and see how much damage you do.
No. He just flops now. He just completely lies down, trying to spread himself out.
You know there are creatures that are made of rock like that, right?
I'm gonna go to bed. I want to sleep.
Oh, he's a pouty teenager. This is hilarious.
Me too, Pufflesworth. Me too.
Done listening.
So you know I've made a point, right?
He just ignores you now.
I shake my head and I go, do you want some dinner?
Yeah.
We've got fresh badger.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'll go fetch some. I gotta head on up to see how much fresh badger that Siegfried's kind of gathered up.
All right.
I hand over probably a kilo or two's worth of meat to
Yeah, there's quite a lot of badger.
Wait, what was the sleight of hand?
You weren't there. You don't know.
Well, I gotta head on back downstairs with some of the badger. About a
He's-
handful.
He's still flumped.
I go and I set it down in front of him. Here you go.
His head turns to look away from you while you're doing that.
I kind of look amused. Very funny.
And slowly starts to turn back and nip at the badger meat. But he tries deliberately not to look at you. How's the rest of you guys up to? What are you doing? Cornelius and Droop are still working over his notes, making sure he's doing them right.
Yep.
I'd say most of the day is really passing in all this little indulgence. Arzul, what are you up to? You, Siegfried, and Malgern are kind of unaccounted for right now. You're just in the house.
I have a feeling I'm cleaning Badger up. Grumbling about, I just did this place.
And yeah, Castelli, you have a very simple roast chicken dinner with Yosef, and then it's right back to work. It felt a little awkward because he paid for it, but they didn't say anything at all about it. Just coins passed, mealette, and then right back to work.
A good dinner.
It keeps the fuel. You have to keep both fires fueled. So let's have a go on this one, right? So give me a blacksmith tools roll with advantage because he's helping out.
Alrighty. Hey.
Nice. And with that roll, you managed to finish it off. You now have a shield that has Hydra scales on it. Quite a nice pattern too.
Oh, very nice.
It looks like really good craftsmanship. That's a fair old one.
But are there also decorations on it?
It's up to Pio. It was her design. Yosef was just helping out. With that roll, it's got pretty much everything you intended for it. So it's all on you how pretty it looks. If it does.
With the base Hydra body down at the bottom, 2 necks extending on either side to meet at the top, and 1 neck going up the middle.
Halfway through, I was thinking about sticking on a cup holder, but I figure this'll do. Bit more practical.
Cup holder and a shield.
You've not been around enough dwarves to think that that's a silly idea.
Oh, I know a dwarf would appreciate it.
90% of dwarfs would appreciate it. The other 10% are asking where's the glass.
Why does it only hold 1 cup? Where's the bottle holder as well?
And the rope for the tankard that you troll with you.
Aye, that's a fair old work you done there. Yeah. I know it's a gift and all, but I'm just saying, that'd be a good one I'd be proud to sell that in the store. No bother there. Where'd you learn this?
Casalia? Do you?
I learned it from my town's blacksmith. I learned the initial forging process and general creation.
It's fair enough work. Gotta be honest, I don't see a lot of fiery ones, or horny ones by the forge. It's still a bit of a surprise, but you're a good worker, you.
Well, thank you.
Mind you, I mean, I'm open with my statements and all, but that doesn't come cheap, that sort of compliment. Yeah, it's well nice. You were out of town for a while, right?
Excuse me?
Those last few days you were out in town doing... What were you up to?
We were taking care of a nature issue.
Alright. Didn't find anything useful to make something out of?
Just a tree.
I mean, wood's important for all this sort of stuff, but yeah, nah. Nah, leave that up to the other shop. But, you know, if you find something that's, you know, a bit unusual, be good to put in the shelf, might get a bit of a notice.
Well, I do have something, but assuming that the person I think who may own it doesn't come forth, then surely.
What, want to give us a bit of a clue in? Or you want to keep it close to the chest?
It's a hunk of metal, and it's from a sword.
Gonna get a look at it?
Sure. And I can go back to the house and bring him the hunk of metal.
Oh, hello, Castalia.
As she watches Arzul just fucking wringing out his mop, just covered in blood. Droop's going around prestidigitating stuff and then scrubbing it the rest of the time when he's too tired.
Certainly different to see you out of your get-up.
Yes, it's a professional attire and working at this forge. Did Droop cast the Badgers again?
Yes, we
I
were trying
see
to modify it.
It was
Yeah,
so
but
much
always.
worse. They were angry badgers.
That just means they were dire.
Yes, now we know which part of the formula that affects that. Now we need to start affecting some of the other formulas.
Huh.
Experimentation can teach you much. Isn't that right, Droop?
I don't want to do this anymore.
Chip her up.
Am I there for the experimentation bit?
Unless you want to stay down there with Pufflesworth.
No. I would have taken Pufflesworth up top after he had his little temper tantrum.
You would have had to carry him.
Oh yeah, I know that. And I'm just staring at him like he's lost his marbles.
What would you rather? What?
Nothing.
So many badgers.
Is there a sulky Pufflesworth there?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Like he's just hanging limp in her arms. He's not putting any effort in what he does right now. He's just looking, sulking away.
Alright, so everything normal?
Siegfried's still walking around picking up bits of badger, chucking some into the cage now and again.
Yep.
It's
Trying
quite
to
a
keep the place slightly clean.
like it was a more welcome place when it was a drinking den. Half covered in piss.
Smelled better too.
Right now this is just animal murder.
All right, Droop. How about we try it another? I would try a less messy spell to try out.
You didn't want me to cast this on you last time, but I was working on dark vision.
All right.
But
Let's try it then.
Oh, okay. It's okay if I do it on you.
Yes, it is fine.
I really promise this won't hurt. I hope. And so he casts it. And Cornelius, as you look around, it's a beautiful, verdant, nicely manicured area because he cast Park Vision. You don't see your compatriots, you don't see the home, you just see beautiful landscape. There's a bench over there's a nice little bird fountain.
Oh,
Hello?
oh dear. I just noticed the duration.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's not concentration either.
can't just hit him out of it. Oh, no.
Hi.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay, so am I in this room?
Droop looks around, panicked at the rest of you. Yes.
Okay, because all I can see is a park right now.
What? He starts going through his book again.
Oh no.
I'm
Some of his sums are getting lost as his tears fall and stain the pages.
I'm just gonna sit down right now because I'm on the on the first part and I don't want to go careening off the edge.
Siegfried goes and grabs a chair and sits Cornelius down.
Who's there?
It's me, Siegfried.
Okay. Okay, this is kind of weird. I'm sitting in air.
Is it nice at least?
Oh yes, quite pleasant.
It reminds you of your lovely estate when it was fully manicured.
Don't you mean maintained?
A bit, but also like manicured lawn and stuff. It is actually a term.
Yeah, he's right.
Very carefully controlled.
So I'm just
Rather
gonna-
effective. Is it touch or is it range? Touch. Okay.
Yeah.
Be a very effective spell at taking somebody out of action.
Yeah, but it also has to be willing.
Otherwise, there's a roll involved. Hang on. I can fix this. If I change this here, and then, I can do a different spell. I can change what's going on here.
Oh no.
Okay, and ta-da! As you feel the goblin hand touch you, and it all goes black.
Okay, now I can't see anything at all.
The rest of you see this strange texture now covering his eyes as he casts Bark Vision.
Oh,
Oh god.
Oh no.
oh no. But hey, my eyes have a higher AC than the rest of my body.
Droop is helping.
I think I made it worse. Help! Anyone?
Is Zarzul there?
Okay, Drew.
You're all here.
Drew,
Zarzul, can you do... Who has dispel magic?
I do.
hang on now. Go over some of these. Go over some of the algorithms for me. See if we can figure this out.
Yeah, he starts to recite bits. He's stammering and a bit panicked, though.
Okay, take it easy. One at a time. See if we can figure this out. We're not in a rush.
And then he's starting to sort of stumble over because he's now talking about the bit he changed suddenly and how he's going to change that back. It'll be fine. It'll be perfect. It's okay. Please don't hit him.
Drew, nobody's going to hit you.
I deserve it, though.
No, you don't. Trying to
I
figure
actually
this out,
did
okay?
something bad for once.
You're fine. Nothing's permanent.
He can't see.
It's alright. We'll fix it.
I blinded my master.
Only for
And
a
I can't,
little bit.
and I can't stop it.
It's fine. That's what dispel magic's for.
I don't have that.
Well, Castalia does.
He starts to hyperventilate a little bit.
Group, deep breath. It's fine. Cornelius, it's fine, right?
It's fine. If you could hear the heart rate of Cornelius, it's not fine.
I cast dispel magic.
You are able to see again, Cornelius, as the bark falls away from your eyes.
See? Temporary.
I couldn't even do it right. Maybe I won't work on that one, Vin. I'll just scroll this out. This is
No,
terrible.
no. We'll take it. You'll keep it one at a time.
Costello, you came here just to pick up a shard of metal. Are you going to leave now, or are you going to keep waiting on hand just in case?
Let's
I
just
got
take
one
a
more
break.
spell slot, so I should wait, just in case.
Let's just take a break. Just take a break for now. Look it over. We can try again later.
Strange question here. Is there a spell slot available in the ring?
No.
Okay, never mind.
There's a healing word and a revivify. Yes, thank you, Castalia.
Oh, no problem. Would you like me to stay for his next try, or
I think we can keep a little bit of break, and I'll go through some of what he changed and start trying to get an understanding.
of course. I'll be back home a bit later. Have a good night till then.
All right. You and see you later.
Cornelius, have you ever tried making your own magic? It seems interesting.
Well, I haven't had any ideas as such.
No water to wine or anything like that?
Don't even suggest such a thing.
I mean, come on, we all know that's in the cleric spellbook, not the wizard.
Why? Did you have something in it? Had something in mind, Sazul?
No, I was just wondering whether you'd ever tried. It looks like something. This is definitely worthy.
Well, so far, well, I guess technically, the Cornelius every time I just select the spells from level up, I guess I made it himself, didn't I?
Kind of, but you also studied this, so you're doing, you're kind of going over stuff from your studies and then building on it. It's more sort of you're following the established parameters. These are the most well-known spells. But, it took years of study to be aware of these in the first place, let alone actually harness them. And then, of course, it takes a bit of mental and physical exercise in order to get a body strong enough in order to cast them.
Yeah.
Or, you kill some dude, steal his book, and hey, now you can cast Fireball. That also works.
Yep.
Just copy some fucker's notes.
Well, so far I haven't really had the time either, but it is definitely worth something to look at some point.
Do we have a time frame where we want to go and look at the dark area, as it were?
Well, probably once people have the time. I'll assume we can talk about it once this Castalia heads back.
And on that note, we rejoin Castalia as she returns to Yosef's shop with the shard of metal. I can see. Yeah, looks like a sword blade. Probably was a fancy bit of work when it's all intact. You couldn't really make much more than a letter opener if it melted it down.
It's part of a bigger weapon.
Oh, yeah, I know that there, like I'm saying, but this is all you got of it so far, so. And you know the owner of it?
I believe Lord Carrigram is the owner.
Oh, old Orkbane, aye. Didn't think you'd know of him.
I have a gift for finding a story of a weapon or armor.
Fair enough. Didn't think he had anything special. Like, I mean, I remember him. He's got that. He's got a big axe. That was a big gift. That there. Never. Have I seen him with a sword? I haven't seen him for a year or two actually. Like he's been in town and out. I'm sure people would have said otherwise. It's just these are the only family I meet. Man, he's got something like the rest of it. I mean, I'm sure it's a pretty thing. But you can see the nice little etchings they've done here next to the blade. That's actually pretty good, that is.
I'm hoping to find out if it is actually his, but as it stands right now, I cannot seem to get an audience.
Man, not surprised that there. He never really had time for a lot of people. Yeah, that's not dwarven. Don't look elvish either. No, a little bit of elvish, not a whole lot, but yeah, it's not from a forge of the stone sands and all that there. Looks real old though. Again though, I've only really seen him with an axe. I mean, before that he had the hammer. He actually had dual hammers, two of them for some reason. Then he moved on to the big axe after the whole orc thing, and then got the nickname. Sort of fell out of touch with the rest of the family.
Oh, he's a family member of yours.
Oh, I dissed it, you know. He's like, what do you say? It's a human equivalent. Someone like a fourth uncle, you know, he's way on the side.
Ah.
And then we're not. Like, we never really bother him because he's Lord. Whole family isn't, you know, just him, a couple of relatives alongside, and then the whole. He got the nickname, he got a few other things, and sort of. Kind of black sheep, but black sheep done well. Like, he got on real well with this orc lady. And then had the treaty. He was responsible for most of it, I think. And it stopped being an issue, but now they're an issue again, so he's probably deep in the shit with whoever does orders for him. Oh, if you're thinking, nah, like I said, fourth uncle and all, not close enough. Plus, I've never been up past that gate there. But hey, we keep pumping out stuff like this shield. You get a few more fun bits, and we could be quids in.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Which is a rarity. I haven't been able to do that for a while. Because I've got this heap of shit and this lump of fucking waste. That's family, that is. As he just strikes his chest with his fist. But he does it sort of in a really weak way. As he just looks over at you. You be coming back to work tomorrow?
If nothing prevents me, of course. And if something does, I'll be in there right away to tell you.
Alright, good. Let's see now, your wages. Here you go. And he shuffles into your hand 10 gold.
Thank you.
Well, you don't have to thank me, it's for what you did. You're an employee, after all. So, I'm going to shut in. Have a good night, Castalia. Aye.
Have a good night, Joseph. I'll see you tomorrow.
You will indeed. And as he leads you out, he locks up the place, snuffs it out to the protestations of his cousins who are still inside, but he completely ignores them, and he hopes you're ignoring them as well. Have a good night. And he saunters off.
And I'm gonna head home.
And what a home it is. Once
Has
more
the
among
badger-
your friends.
Yeah, but has the badger been cleaned up?
Yeah, Zarzul and Droop, now that he's not having to experiment, have been doing hard at work to keep the place clean.
Also, the little servant, unseen servant.
Ah, yes, the unseen servant as well.
I'd probably summon up mine as well.
Just to show off, I suppose. Zarzul, you watch as Rain conjures this unseen servant. You look upstairs, you can see the imprint of Cornelius is doing, and you're thinking, you were shoulder deep in the privy last night. Why weren't these?
Yep.
Why weren't they doing that? Why didn't they volunteer to clean up the place whereas you scrubbed it raw?
Because we were doing other things, we didn't know you were doing it. You didn't even mention it.
I was doing what needed doing.
Yeah.
And in the background, Wolfgang is walking oddly because he's still getting used to his armor.
Yep.
It doesn't have booties, but the legs are sort of feeling a bit weird. But he doesn't grumble about it. He knows it's protection. So now you're all reunited with about 3 or 4 hours before midnight. It is dark.
Right. Well, should probably inform me that Sasua and I managed to get some information about a potential way to get inside the closed-off city parts. Though there was also an idea that we might just be able to ask our way inside. That might be worth either going to the clergy. I assume they would probably want people out of there. Otherwise, maybe go to one of the other guard factions. See if they would want us to go in there, figure out what's going on.
You know, I worked up a whole list of drinks as well, waiting for this whole business arc to begin. And apparently it all got dropped beside for a day.
Rip.
Like last night's Castalia and Rain, we're gonna make a business of this, and then this morning, not yet.
Because I hurt.
Oh yeah, because I only heard briefly from Rain, but what about the old tavern business?
Considering that the landlord would want a 60-40 split, no.
I do have to agree. I don't see him going much nicer on it when he's not the one that's supplying the liquor.
And I don't know if any of you went to imply about the licensing and
I had a look.
establishments.
The
Oh.
licensing's 50 gold, and the tax rate round here is 20% profit. Also, you need a licensed barkeeper.
Uh, Did you ask what the penalty was for not having a licensed barkeeper?
No, but it sounded like getting the license wasn't too bad as long as you knew what you.
You got the impression it was more a case of the skilled bartender is more for getting the supply. For convincing the guys that, yes, this is a good, proper business, you're going to get your monies back, that sort of thing. Whereas, you know, you don't want to be approaching them with, we need an order here, we're amateur hour, this stuff's never going to move, it might give you a bad reputation. So, skilled bartender not required, but it seems like it's a good idea when dealing with the suppliers.
Well, I suppose if we could find a skilled bartender, then we can worry about the suppliers and worry less about 60-40 splits. But we'd still have to go back to the halfling and determine what kind of cut he'd want. should probably still be 60-40 or worse.
Yeah.
You could always ask. He's a generous sort. I mean, look at the size of place you've got for only 100 gold a week.
The others are willing to ask. Most importantly, the two who went and got the property.
Yeah. Can go on asking.
Though I would look into the skilled barkeep first.
Yeah.
You've got the feeling Megrin probably does not have a license.
No.
I almost assumed he did not.
In anything. You can always wait for some place to get burnt down in the war. Walk around the refugee camp offering work.
Well. Who's knocking?
As you look to the door, you can see that there's a large shape behind it.
Well, speak of the song. Yes?
You opening the fuck up? I don't like to be out here without my fucking cat disguise on.
Ah, hang on. Could you open the door?
I don't know if I can. We'll try though.
You can.
He's
Drew.
feeling really
Sure.
deflated now. The ears are drooping properly. He's walking like Charlie Brown. But yeah, the door's open quickly enough, and after bending down for the door is Adagoon. Ooh. Don't like all the looks I get there. Fucking unpleasant. Hey, it's all of yous. That's good to see.
Should we not be here?
Well, last I saw of yous, I sent yous off to fight a tree blight.
Ah,
I figured at least that one there would have lost it, as he points to Siegfried. No offense, you just look the sort, you know.
None taken.
Yeah. But it's good to see you're alive and well, all of yous are, and what the fuck is that doing here? And he points a big blue-furred finger at the cage. and at the image of a cat that's not inside the cage, and then the actual cat inside it. I'm gonna need to hear a real good explanation there. And I came here bearing gifts, you know, rewards for a job well done.
I consider it my reward for a job well done.
Do you now?
It's harmless.
No! Not even if it had 4 legs and didn't have the fucking tentacles, it wouldn't be harmless. It'd be tolerable.
It's a cat.
Do you know what a displacer beast is?
A cat with 6 legs and tentacles. What's so hard to
Right, you
understand?
don't. Okay. Now we've got that clear, I can instruct you. They are a savage, evil lot, although this one does actually look a bit small.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's have a look here. He just pries open the cage, no bother, puts his hand in. You do hear him mutter a bit of a spell, and then he brings it up, and the cat's pretty tame in his hand. It actually looks about the size you had it originally in his hand. He's a big guy. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna regret this, I fucking know it. But what are the odds you lot will piss off soon enough? Aye. Then it'll be someone else's problem, but then I'm not really meant to do that, and I've got so much fucking work ahead of me. I'm guessing it was completely fucking shagged out there. The forest. Dead. Aye.
Yeah. It was dead. Yeah. The stream still had some life around it, but otherwise,
And the tree you killed, don't you lick my hand, and you killed the tree, right? Proper job, burned it. Got right down to the roots.
Yep.
Indeed.
Right, okay. He sort of closes his grip and sort of rolls his hand about, inspecting the displacer kitten. Right. Then he looks over at Rain. She's not the one looking after, right? It's you.
Sorry about that.
I roll my eyes a little.
So you're the one looking after it. You're gonna do this, but you're gonna do it with a wee scaly one. You two are now the parents. You're the mum, he's the dad.
Wait, what?
Because I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at someone, okay, you could put your foot down on it, but I'm not sure you could teach it. Now, it's all good, the bond and all that there, but you've got to train it as well. That's why she's getting fuck all from that thing. Because it's an unruly brat, and from the looks of it, so is she. Anyway.
Oof.
I roll my eyes and just go, well, right now he's mad at me because I did put my foot down, so we'll see how that goes for a bit.
Yeah. Pufflesworth is very pissed off looking. It's funny because once you start sulking to Adagun's words, the two of you look to have the same expression going on. Now, I'm telling you this as a friend, and also someone who has some fucking knowledge on how this all works. You get him to help you. Don't try and do this on your own. Because you'll raise something that you can fight with for a bit, but then it'll start thinking, what if it's in charge? Maybe it'll just piss off one night. It's not a kitten. It's a beast. Displacer beast. Right? Normally, I'd snap its neck, we'd be done. But I'm doing you a favour here. So you hear what I'm saying? Fucking nod or say something. I can't read minds yet.
Yeah, I got you. It's
That's good. I'm not saying this will turn out badly. It will turn out badly, but I'm not saying that straight up to you. It might be okay. It'll turn out badly, but it might be alright. Just, have some help from your mates, or whatever else you consider each other. Don't do it all on your lonesome. And you might get something that's not an insane bloodthirsty killer that will rip things apart and torture them as much as it can. I know, that's exactly like having a cat, but this one's much bigger with tentacles. Fucking hate cats.
gonna be fine.
Wait, if you despise cats so much, why do you keep transforming into one?
Because people fucking love cats. I don't have to like them to be one. But then people get house cats, people have barn cats, and you know how much fucking slaughtering they do. Fucking cats will make a right lopsided circle of life. But right. Okay, you've got your displacer kitten. Fine. Just follow me advice. Just have some help. If you even need help from me, I'll give it to you. Sometimes. I'm actually quite busy, and I'm going to be busy for quite a while now. But I will help you deal with this. So it doesn't become a problem for fucking everyone. Because it'll a good chance of becoming a problem for everyone. But, I came here bearing gifts. Gather round, you've got your reward here. He reaches into his bag and starts to bring out 8 superior healing potions.
Hang on. Yeah, it's gonna open treasure here.
Oh, correction, not superior, greater. The middle ones.
And I'm writing it at the bottom of the page. Okay, what do you say?
8 greater healing potions.
Okay.
These ones are my own handiwork. Get a bit of an apple infusion in them, a bit of Granny Smith. And then these little ones, 4 normal healing potions. And I'm not going to do it tonight, because there's no fucking point, not enough hours in the night for it. I'm going to teach one of you, you get to choose, to learn how to make these, because these ones are actually quite simple. So you can decide it amongst yourselves tonight, and I'll come back another day for it. Not tomorrow, I'm busy tomorrow. I haven't got much to do the next day after that, but then I'm also going to be checking out the forest now it's been cleared. Alright, next, let me take a look here. Yes. Listen. And he draws out, it is what looks like a wooden sword, and you realise that's the sheath, but it is wrapped in sort of vine growth, a bit like what's on Castalia's leg. There we go. You don't look very impressed.
Oh. Oh, sorry. I thought you had put some text in because I was looking somewhere else.
Oh.
Zazzle is inspecting this interestingly.
Yeah, it's the size of a short sword.
Short?
Yeah.
Aha, this is good news.
As you tap at the handle, it feels very wooden. At the pommel, it's very wooden. Then you pull it out, and it is indeed not wooden. It is fibrous. It is a tangle of various types of vine, luckily healthy green ones. But then once you get past the initial knotting and stuff, then it becomes proper wood again. You can see a nice grain on it. And draws out into full blade. It's not a toy sword.
Very interesting.
Certainly a unique flavor of salt.
I wouldn't go licking it. Might get a splinter.
Gotta say, guess that it can do more than just give people splinters.
Oh, yeah. Right, let's see now. Nah, not really got the room here, I'll just fucking tell yous. So, you've got to get your mind in it, you know? Got to get attuned. And then you see here, watch this here, wee man. You look at those sort of knots in the wood grain. That's your counter, alright? So you get 5 of those. You can give it a good hard swing. And it'll reach up to about 15 feet mechanically. It'll also do double damage on that one, so it'll be 2d6 on that strike. And then you've got the choice of hauling something towards you up to 15 feet. Got a strength save, mind. But basically you stab them, it grows on them, and then you can haul them close. You sort of take root in them, you know?
Interesting.
It's also a +1.
Do you have to draw them all the way, or can you just let them just stop halfway or something like that?
All or nothing, I'm afraid.
What was the range on it?
Whenever you use the move, 15 feet.
Okay, 50.
Yeah.
I've written wine wooden sword +1 with 5 charges, 15 foot of grab.
Yeah. It gets 1d4 plus 1 charge back each day.
And also it does double damage or double dice on
Yeah, on that strike it does double damage. 2d6.
how many charges does it use each strike?
Just the once.
Was it +2d6 or just 2d6?
2d6. Just 2d6. You don't get to add your modifier to it. and for 2 charges, it lets you cast. Hang on a bit. Need to double check the actual level of this here. Doo-ba-doo. It's one of the early ones. It lets you cast Armor of Agathis, but Plant Fiend. But I'm just telling you this for gameplay purposes. But it lets you cast it at, yeah, at 3rd level. So it takes 2 charges, and then you got 15 temp HP. But it's not cold damage, it's piercing damage. Because it basically covers you in thorns.
Sorry, what was the 2 charges again?
2 charges, it basically lets you cast Armor of Agathis at 3rd level, so it's 15 temp HP. Well, you get 15 temp HP. And when you're struck, whatever damage they do. Oh. Now, it's whenever you have these hit points, they take 5 piercing damage. So if they hit you for 1, they take 5. If they hit you for 10, they take 5. Or no, no, correction. They take 15 now. Actually, yeah. Temporary point cold damage increased by 5 for each slot. Yeah, we'll just stick with 10. 10 damage. Probably a bit overpowered. This one's not been sort of strung out as much as the rest. And also, oof. Devil Girl, you done something with your hair?
Hmm?
You're looking well
you
nice.
Flowers.
Aye.
I conjure forward Sodden Lash and hold it out.
Oh, that's looking well nice, that is. You're lucky I'm a good friend at All Green. Otherwise, I'd be putting my moves on you. Nah, not likely. You're a bit short for me, no offense. No, but that's a real nice job there. I have to look for something for you to finish that off with.
I think it'll be tough after the Gamothas tree.
Aye, well, might be more than one of those.
There's a small whimper from Siegfried at that mention.
Aye, well, I mean, sure look at the ones you fought before they had a bunch of seeds on them.
Ah, yes, I do believe I actually bought some of them to you in case you needed it.
Oh, yeah, I'll be having those to get the fucking rid of them. Anything else you found there?
Well, maybe you know something about as I go to the basement trying to find the living heart in wax, see if he knows anything about it. I doubt it, but well, this was among some of the...
No, that's not my field of it. That is fucking sinister.
That is.
Still alive. There's fucking heat coming off that. It's not beaten, but it's fucking living. And what was this, in the tree?
It was actually... oh yeah, I think it was probably one of the orcs, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah.
I believe, or was it one of the shamans?
I actually found it from a shaman warband that was in the forest. Maybe they'd gotten it from something else.
Ooh, they've got no business, that sort of thing. That's... I'm trying to rack my brain on what you use it for, but I think we can all agree here. Nothing good? Yeah, nothing good. We'll agree on that one.
Yes, indeed.
Do you know of any good way to dispose of it safely?
Fire? You know, light that fucker up. I've no idea what it would do to whatever it came from. But Fire seems like a good idea.
You're
Probably not
suggesting
inside
that-
the city. We've had problems with fire and magical items before.
Alright, fair enough.
Are you saying that the creature that this heart came from might be still alive?
Well, the heart's alive. Not beaten. I don't know what you do it for, how you do this. This is not something to cover in circle of, you know. Yeah, it's not my really expertise here. Could be alive, could be a summon element, could be... It's alive, so it couldn't be for a new Gulfias tree. Or maybe you take it to a vampire, he bites it, makes it a vampire heart? That doesn't work though. I've no idea.
All right. well,
Okay.
I could throw it in the fire though.
I think I'll take some time trying to see if I can figure it out myself, just in case we run across whatever it is.
Well, don't let these ones have a nibble of it, as he points to the small kitten and the owlbear.
Oh no, that's not. You don't have to worry about that.
Anything else? Or was that your lot?
Do you have any idea what's going on in the slum area? Eternal darkness thing going on or whatever?
I think you've asked him this before.
I couldn't remember if I had or not.
Yeah, but he was very insistent that we went and fixed the tree, so...
Aye, well. Haven't been back or anything, got nothing new to say. All I remember is couldn't fucking see down. Just eternal darkness.
Would you know if there would be anyone in particular who would let us enter and take care of whatever was in there?
Aye, well, I see those pump lots in the shiny armour pacing back and forth, so figure you go in through the temple, that'd be the best way to do it. Although, I mean, you probably ask one of them, they'd tell you who's in charge, and then you go to them, find out they're not in charge, you go through up the chain a few more times, and then you find someone who says, alright, that's my responsibility for a day.
That sounds about right.
Aye, I like it simpler outside. If someone's big, that means it's in charge. He says as well, standing his 8.5 feet tall.
Oh, I didn't mean to ask. How are those folks that we rescued?
Oh, aye, they're all doing well. Well, they're not doing great, but got them clothed, fed. They're actually at one of the temples now for a bit. I was trying to find them a place, but Tall Greens he's only got a couple of wee shacks spare. He owns a couple of wee things down in the entertainment district, like sort of, you know, one room hovel kind of things. But yeah,
One other question.
they're well grateful. They gave their thanks and all, but they're still a bit out of sorts because, you know, the one that we're paying all, but they've got fuck all. So that's why you got this sword here. I wasn't going to part with that.
One other. Have you heard of any marriages that would have gone on in the forest that went bad?
I was there with you, you fool.
Yeah, he was there with us.
Okay.
I mean, if you want, we can make one happen. Do you and the dwarf make it
Nah.
official?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that'll be... I think one tragic wedding is more than enough.
I don't know if those two look like a good fit.
A shudder goes through. Can you says he imagine what a child between those two would look like?
Kill me! But after I have this drink. Alright, I might have a few wee things for you later as well. Because I'm looking at this is looking a bit thin on the ground for killing a tree.
Well, there's plenty of nasty things alive out there, but they might be able to need your help.
Oh, I'm just thinking, you know, show proper generosity and all, fair's fair and all. Plus, there was that ritual thing, so. Ooh, duh. Kind of need this, but. You did sort of do it for a good cause. Fucking aye. He looks away from the table, but he reaches in the pouch and brings out a very clear diamond. There we go. One of you put that in your pocket now for regret.
I go to take it.
Fair's fair, you did it for those people, so you've got one back. I'll have to find some way to get a fucking hold of it. Don't be thinking there's a lot of those though in my pocket. Fit on the ground here. Not a lot of deep mining in Raxis thanks to the orcs now. Most of the big gem mines and all up on the east. They're fucking closed. So, you know, think about the risks ahead.
Will do.
Well, now, yeah, I think I'll see myself out here.
You don't want anything to
good night.
your way out, or?
Oh no, I had a whole berry earlier. I'm still fucking full.
Right, and we'll have a good night then, and thanks for the gifts.
I see his lot. As he goes to walk out, he does take a moment to stop by Castelli and just put a finger underneath one of the flowers. That's coming along well, that is. Be sure to stick your head in the pot for a while. That'll help him get a bit strong.
Alright.
And out he walks. There is this sort of distant gasp as someone catches him in the night. Then he just keeps walking. Shut the fuck up, you. Never seen the man in strutting town before. And Drew closes and locks the door.
Well, that was certainly something. Well, I'll just go and put some of these bottles down in the basement. Make sure to pick someone up at some point.
Would you not rather just divvy them out now? It sounds a bit weird. I'm going to put these healing potions in the basement just in case.
Yeah, people could say it's. They can say they want to take one now.
Yeah, they could.
Otherwise, I'm gonna put them in the basement.
You might as well just keep them all yourself, Cornelius. I mean, they obviously don't want them right now.
I'll take one and I'll put it in my pack just for safekeeping.
I'll take one of the small ones.
Okay, basically, each one who's taken one, wait in turn, notify it in the treasury. Make sure you add it to your character sheet, the exact number you're taking. And you also get to decide who gets to learn how to make these, because none of you have a herbalism kit.
I'm close.
Yes, let Zarzul make them. It'll be the first healing potion you've got to snort.
Snort? Don't you mean smoke?
Haven't got time to smoke it in battle.
Well, if no one wants to, then Cornelius could do it.
As you come to with a fiver rolled up in your nose.
I don't know whether healing potion wine would take off well.
It'd take off very well.
Yeah, I mean, some of the potions you have bought have been flavored. All of Adagun's will be apple flavored. But you did buy a couple that were rhubarb infused. You do have the issue, of course, that if you're drinking heavily and then one of them's a healing potion wine, maybe it'll undo the intoxication.
Or at least remove the after effects.
No. Still get the after effects. You need a lesser restoration potion for that.
Yeah. Unless Azul wants to learn to do it, then Cornelius will take it. Big now forever hold your peace.
That's ours all to learn. Sounds
Right.
interesting skill to have.
Well, the rest of the party can see who want to do it.
Yeah, Rain is happy with Zarzul or Cornelius doing it.
But keep in mind, one of them is Zarzul.
Yeah, she silently prefers if Cornelius does, but
Might be a bad time to be silent about it. Just saying.
Cornelius, this is right up your alley, isn't it?
I don't have a whole lot of experience in the herbology and alchemy.
As you think
You
back to
don't
that
want
time,
Siegfried
Zarzul
to-
wanted to be a real dragon.
No, Siegfried will learn if you want.
There we
That's
go.
for me.
Third contender.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
fine with either, so the brothers can fight it out.
Well, there's also Malgern and Castalia present
Yeah, but they haven't
to
said
vote
anything.
or decide.
I would vote for Siegfried.
I agree. Siegfried would be a perfectly fine.
It's fine by me.
Congratulations, Siegfried. You've inherited responsibility that you volunteered for.
Siegfried just realised that he opened his mouth. Oh dear.
What's the worst that could happen?
Very good, Kronk.
Much later in the dungeon, we're out of healing potions. Why didn't you make more? This is on you. But we'll get to that probably next time.
Yep.
Yep.
So Siegfried will be the one learning eventually.
And also, who wants to have the grabby sword? Who wants the restraining order sword?
Well, it's available for 4 of you guys. It is attunement.
I guess Asu doesn't kind of lost his short sword.
But I think he's all tuned out.
Yeah, I think.
Well, he's not using the hood currently. He's still scared of it.
True.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Yeah, I may have to get back to it at some point, but we'll figure out that mystery later. But yeah, I could use the sword at the moment.
You have the bow. You have the hood. And what have you else?
The cummerbund,
Oh yeah, the cummerbund.
which you've just recently found out has a dimensional pocket and it's for small objects. And we can't really get anything major done today, but before the session ends, we can go through the nighttime, into the morning. Are you guys still wanting to tackle the slum district?
Yeah, I think that's what we should be focusing on.
Because considering there's a whole district that's made dark, and the fact that there's also something blocking off Castalia's contact to
Patron.
the patron. Yeah, maybe there's answers there, maybe there's not, maybe it's just the monastery that's somehow blocking it off. Who knows? What a big bellowing pitch of darkness might just be what's involved.
And so you're going to take up the option of asking?
Yeah, probably ask first, and then if no one else, if there's for some reason they don't want us involved with it, well, we can always ask for forgiveness when we deal with that problem.
I mean, you know how that's going to go, don't you?
Yeah. I think it'd be better if we just sneak in.
No, just joke. So, who's going to go ask? As a group, or just or just a couple of representatives?
I imagine Cornelius would go and ask. I don't know if there's someone else who wants to go with.
I'd be willing to accompany.
Cornelius at Rain, off again.
You have arrested him just sort of looking a bit closer into her porridge.
I got work tomorrow.
Well, from my point of view, I'll wear something with a little bit more symbols on it to kind of send a little bit more of a message that we're not just a roving band of adventurers.
Alright, as you step out of the household, it says right on your back, turn left now. Signal clearly. Yeah, Castalia heads for work, leaving the three deadbeats.
Leaving Sassul and Malgorn to figure out how to foster their new child.
Yeah, which is a little less of a child now. It's actually like a full-size cat.
Oh heck, it's growing fast.
Yeah.
Is Droop coming with us?
Oh yeah, Droop always
I
follows
advise-
Cornelius.
Yeah, of course.
I'll point out, Cornelius, if we're going to ask for a favor, Droop might not be the best one to come with us.
He is hurt.
No, Droop.
Oof.
Can
But he
I explain for a
understands.
second?
No, he understands fully.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I don't know if they're going to be equating you with those folks who are beating on the door. They'd be wrong, but I don't want them to be thinking that you're something that has to be dealt with.
I'm going to help Malgern with the training. There'll be a training montage.
Yep. Also, the left tentacle has come out by an inch or two.
Aw.
It's a chubby stub, but it's able to move a little bit.
It's kind of looking like when Deadpool has lost his hand, it's just this little tiny little baby hand.
Nah, it's more just like sort of like a stump.
Quick question. Don't we have to pay the owner of the property?
Yes, I have the money set aside.
It might be an idea to get that out of the way.
Yes, which is why whenever you open the door, Cornelius, there's Jeffries. With who you assume to be called Clubber and Slugger beside him. Good morning.
Perfect timing.
Oh, yes, of course. Always good timing with me. Hello, clients.
Hello, landlord.
Yeah, excuse me. Here as he steps in and then the two also sidle in. Deliberately walking in a way to get you further away from the door, Cornelius. And then they close it behind them as he makes himself comfortable on a chair. So, I'm looking to be paid what's owed. I assume after a full day you've been able to actually count it up.
Oh yes, here it is over here. And I go to take him.
Alrighty. Come along, you two. Actually, just the one of yous. There is some heavy footfalls from the one he takes with him. He's in full burnished plate armor. And they come down to the basement. Alrighty then. That's a nice little taking you got there. You know, if you want to make it a full-time thing, that's very easy.
That's something that we have to consider, but I'm not so quite sure. After all, we're rather busy.
Oh, yeah, you looked at, yeah. That's a
something we
weird
have to
fucking
discuss
cat your friend's got.
Oh yeah. I don't know what he's going to be doing with that, but
You're lucky you with me and not Berenice. She doesn't like animals in her property. All right, he starts scooping it out into his bag of holding. Meanwhile, what you assume to be called Slugger just keeps watching you, just in case.
So, good morning, Mister. As I say in the basement, just look at who you're saying looks like Slugger.
He just looks at you. No, don't go personalising them. No, these ones are just paid for protection. That's about it. They ignore everything else because otherwise they're not keeping keen vigilance to protecting me. Although if you really want to know, his name's Jeff. I think. The one upstairs might be Jeff. That one might be Gordon. Don't fucking matter. They get paid the same thing. Alright, that is a tidy little profit. And you still got quite a lot yourselves. See? Paid out well. Don't forget to chip in for Megrin and all them lot.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did some good work from what I heard.
He was apparently very popular.
Oh, also, if you want those windows fixed, it's going to be 20 gold apiece.
We'll worry about that later.
Just saying, keeps it presentable, makes it more welcoming. Alright then, see you in 5 days for the rent.
Have a great day.
I will. Have yourselves a good profitable day. I'd hate not to have my money up when the time comes.
Oh, don't worry about that.
If you want, I could take it early.
No, we're quite good.
Alright then, have a good one. Come on, you lot. And they stomp their way out.
That's a little bit of a lot of armor.
Oh yeah, they are fully geared up. They look a bit better. They look a bit better equipped than some of the knights you've seen.
What kind of people are you renting out to?
I have a feeling he's not very popular.
So, though.
Not to mention with the orcs battering down the wall, he's probably hedging his bets that this way he's protected from both sides.
Something to be said for a man who walks around with a lot of money without protection. That man's fucking dead.
Why are you looking at me call this?
Like, I'm gonna point out here, he owns all of this.
Yeah.
That's a lot of rent to collect. And some people don't pay immediately.
Nope.
Those people start to be called limpy and hop along.
Weirdly enough, also Cassidy, but nobody knows why.
Nobody knows why. It just seems to fit. So it's just Cornelius and Rain going to the temple. Well, going to the guys at the fence.
Yep, and I've switched over to a robe again with the Kelmvor symbol up front.
Yep. And you approach one of them who doesn't look like they're doing a whole lot. Others are sort of chatting away and talking to people who are very much in rags, just sort of pleading with them. Good morning, sister. Good morning, sir.
Good day.
Do you require assistance?
Well, maybe it's more that we could be of some assistance. You see, we were curious about the districts that's been closed off.
Yes, no one is permitted.
No one at all is permitted.
None for the public, no. I assume you are talking more in a mercenary way.
Yes.
Hang on one moment, please. She walks to one of her compatriots, comes back. Alright then, you two follow along, please. She has not removed her helmet at all, but you can tell it's a female voice. But, again, none of them have exposed anything of their heads.
This is the way.
This is the way. As she leads you into the Grand Temple once again, and through the chambers you're getting a bit more familiar with. This is like the 4th time, for some of you. And there is that wizened old priest, sitting in his office with his assistants who blend into the statuary around him. Oh! Familiar and not. Hello?
This is the one that I've met, because this was a while ago, right?
Yeah, this is the one that uncursed Zarzul.
Ah, hello. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Oh, I'm sure it is, yes. Greetings, sister.
This is... Wait. This is Cornelius here.
Yes.
And we came...
My husband. I mean, what?
Fuck you!
We're looking to get a sort of quickie arrangement done here, just make it official legally. No one has to know.
We came to...
We've even got the dress. It's very useful.
We came to inquire to see if we can help you regarding the issue in this, in the district that you've got closed off.
Ah, yes. Terrible thing back there. Terrible. So many people just lost currently. Now, there is no established reward, you understand. This is not a contract job. But if you're willing to go in there, you are willing, yes?
Yes.
Alright. I'll give you due warning. No one has actually come out so far. Are you still willing to go in?
Yes.
You didn't look like a man who has nothing to lose, but alright.
Well,
At least with a priest of Kalemvor, you'll be able to go to a good hereafter.
Cornelius just kind of looks to the side a bit, considering the cleric he's dealing with at the moment.
Yeah. Alright then, I suppose we should make this official in some way. Yes, Radifort? No, we're not doing that yet, no. I need you to go find me fresh ink, this is all dried up, and a few forms, blank ones, yes. In no time at all, he's brought on fresh ink. Let's see here, you can see his quivering hand take the quill and start to scrawl in. Yes, for the duty of purging, purifying, exploring the slums in their current, slums is an awful word there, for the the homes in this area, you just hear a lot of scratching, there's a few bits and pieces getting scrawled out or wiped very quickly by another assistant who comes in. Yes, to the sum of... this is always a tough one, putting the price on it. How many of you will be going in?
Six.
I think you want to recount.
Well, 7 with Troop, I guess.
Yeah.
Buffelsworth and Wolfgang.
Yeah, but assuming he's counting by a number of people getting paid.
Alright then, hey, Droop gets a paycheck for once. Although he wasn't going to for a moment there. 100 gold each. If you can get rid of whatever's going on, at least get the people out. Those will be the requirements, yes?
Yes, that sounds fair
Very
enough.
well.
Signatures here, please. We'll also need them from the rest of your group when they arrive.
Very well.
So, report to the fence when you're ready.
All right. Thank you ever so much.
Yes, have a blessed day. No, not yet. Not now.
I go to take the paper and go to leave.
You managed to get out unaccosted.
And just to make the assistant a bit heavier, drop in a 5 silvers. is a leaf.
There's something approximating a smile, but you can tell they've been trained to be very stern. But there is a bow of a head. And yes, as you emerge out, you realize you've just taken on a job to go into somewhere that no one has come out from before. Cornelius, you've read about these stories. You didn't think you'd be a star in one.
Yeah, I even remember especially about the poor gnome.
Well, I guess we can go tell the others.
Congratulations, you've been signed up for possible death.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Suicide mission, I'm guessing.
At least this time they've managed to arrange payment. They didn't even haggle, though.
It's fair enough. We don't want to steal from the church.
They steal from us.
I'm just speaking to clergy.
On Siegfried Radio, let me tell you about the church here.
Funnily enough, Siegfried's never actually interacted with them. He's not had the rattling box.
As we're walking back, I looked at Cornelius. You know, I know we can walk straight in through the center, but I still think it might be a good idea to come up through the sewers.
Well, at least we have a choice. We have something official to show. Should be.
Yeah, you do have a little form.
If there's something in there that's trying to keep everything out or obliterate everything in there, they're more likely to have all the ways in guarded and less likely to have the sewer system under control.
On the other hand, we wouldn't have to walk through the sewer.
I mean,
I'd rather be messy than dead.
only most of you have to walk through the sewer. Doesn't touch Castalia.
And can you use a spider climb?
You're still walking on shitty walls. It's amazing how much gets up there, to be honest. And with that, as the next leg of the adventure looms ahead of you all, we will end this session for the night. I didn't think you guys would get into business this quickly. I figured you were going to take a while, just have a little downtime, stretch the legs, let innocent people die in their millions. Not assist the war effort, become collaborators. But no, we're actually going to go do heroic things.
Which is what our party does, right?
Oh,
we don't let people leave and die.
There is one thing, after all. Castalia, that shield.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your possession now.
Alright.
I couldn't remember if it was a gift for someone or not.
No.
Never mind then. Also, Malgern and
There's
Zarzul.
a longbow.
Yes. You could trade out your shitty dead orc longbow, or dead soldier longbow, for Zarzul's nice one, which smells sweet, strangely sweet. You could also take this moment to stock up on arrows while we're closing the session.
So, I take the bow, or
You've already got a bow. I was just making a joke that you can take the Stoner Kobold one as well, since you're now at the house. You could also decide now what actual magical items you're going to take with you and equip, all of you.
Mm-hmm. We also have, remember there's also the great axe.
Yes, there's the great axe.
You can tossing weapon.
There's a few things, but you all just fucking leave behind. I'm telling you now.
Is it-
Hmm?
Is it
I'm thinking.
is it just a regular longbow, Corvus?
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually don't fit on the sheet.
Also, damn it, I told you, when we're streaming, it's Master. I mean, Dungeon Master. Don't make it weird. Stop making it weird.
Well, let's see. I think all my attunements are filled.
Yeah, but you can always change them.
I
Do I get my metal slug?
Only when the
See, I don't
actual
use-
money arrives.
I got a nice magic weapon, I got great armor, and I got something that helps me smith better.
Yep.
I'm actually going to take the earring that lets you comprehend languages.
Actually, let me go see that.
But this is for all you guys to decide, over the course of a week to the next session. So we're going to sign off now. Everyone okay for next week?
Sure.
Should be.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yep.
There we go then. We'll be back next week with another session of Rescue Raxis as they delve into the darkened slums. Whatever shall await them. It's been sitting prepared for months.
He's not impatient, not at all.